You guys, what's up? It's the kid, 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 it's the kid here for this Sunday hangouts, the weekly hangout here where it's chilled, where we just come along, chop it out, or just hang out talking for football, So this is not gonna be an epic marathon one, man. I'm still feeling the effects of that 7 hour crack cocaine. So this is going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours because I've got some things to do tomorrow. But we're still going to have a great show. So we're going to just review the England Belgium game, talk about Southgate, talk about Grealish, talk about all these different things, pertaining to Belgium. Belgium without Eden Hazard, De Bruyne, talking about again Grealish, maybe Mount, Sancho, all these different things. Just general thoughts about that. So maybe we'll have an overarching discussion on the states of the Euros and European competition. Maybe trek back onto France and Portugal for the guys who weren't here on yesterday's stream. Then we'll jump straight into our main topic. Because always every Sunday we do our main debate topic, talking about the greats of the game or who deserves to be great or where do we rank some of the players from yesterday. And we're going to talk and try and decide this whole Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes debate. So we're trying to get that down and get that in there. So guys, remember, subscribe if you're new, like the video, support the channel, and remember, those super chats will get priority read. Super chats will always get priority read, and also the super chats help in a good small way to support this channel and support the Half Hopes Football Hotman. So your super chats donations are very much appreciated. So let us roll with the show, dear sirs. Let's roll with the show. So first off the bat, let's talk about Belgium against England, man. So I've given my thoughts, but I'll reiterate my thoughts again. Belgium did what they had to do. I think that, they got the goals early, and then when you now got into the second half, Belgium were just happy to give England the ball. This Belgium side doesn't look like the same Belgium side we saw in 2018, and I do believe that I still think that a 9-goal line is still needed in this team, but 100%, a fully functioning Eden Hazard is definitely missing. And I think without that fully functioning Eden Hazard, I think it's going to be this Belgian side can't do what they did in 2018 because there just seems to be a spark missing. But as for England, I said again, first half I was like, but Grealish definitely has shown that he's already one of England's best players. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves is, if Grealish is your best player, can you actually go ahead and win a European trophy? That's all I'm saying. But Mount, I'm still not sure what Mount's function is in a football side, and I still believe that he is an average player. Pretty good, useful, but he's ultimately a squad player for a top team, and he has no business being in a starting lineup for a major team, more specifically a national side, or unless you don't want to win a flipping trophy. So let me come first to Hassan with this. So Hassan, what did you think about the game? Do you think Belgium deserved to win? And what is your take on Grealish and Mount? Should both of them play? Should they not play? And what do you think is missing from Belgium? Do you still think they are strong as they were in 2018?
To be honest, I watched the highlights. I didn't watch the full game. I mean, good goal for Mertens. Shout out Mertens. And Tielemans, who's been on really good form recently. Grealish, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Southgate. He's playing this free at the back football. Are England trying to get relegated? I don't understand what's this football they're playing. Grealish is England's best footballer. I wouldn't say their best player, but technically he's their best footballer. And he has beef with Grealish. I don't know why. He likes Mount over him for some reason, just like Lampard. I mean, Grealish should start for me. 100% should start. I don't know about Mount. Should just don't want to be rude in it, but I don't know. Should just be on a bench.
So what do you think people like Southgate and Lampard see in Mount? And what do you think he actually? Because again, look, I want to be fair. People say, "Oh, he's not played in his strongest position." So do you think if Mount is played through the middle, he can still be beneficial for England?
Listen, he played better, but he wouldn't be on Grealish's level. Grealish creates chances out of nothing. He's just the thing about Lampard and Southgate. It's just English thing. It's passion. He can tackle. Plays anywhere he asks him to play. I don't get that. They haven't got it anywhere in it. Grealish should start for me 100%. He should start. I don't know what the problem is with Southgate. He's a bum.
So, and for Belgium, do you think Belgium can win the Euros without Eden Hazard? So full team. So let's see, because I don't think Carrasco was playing. Carrasco, De Bruyne, Lukaku, Vertonghen thing. Do you think they can actually still win the Euros without Eden Hazard?
I don't think they can win it with him. So
Oh, wow. Okay, so even with Hazard, you still don't think they can win it. Not whether they will win it. You don't think they can potentially win it with Hazard?
they can, but I don't think they'll personally win it. But yeah, without Hazard, it's a big miss. De Bruyne, I don't know about him, man. It's a suspect. He's suspect. We know. Lukaku, quality. He's quality. I mean, Mertens, they have a good team, but I don't know. It's just something about them. They have good quality players, but I think it's their manager, to be honest. I don't rate. Was it Martinez? I don't know. Roberto Martinez. I don't rate it, really. But I don't think they'll win it, even with Hazard, to be honest.
Okay. So before I come to Undisputed, let me just hit the super chats. From Quarterly Awesome, thank you for your super chats, big man. Thank you, Quarterly Awesome. Who says, HH, promote Bricklock to tier 1, hashtag exposure. Bricklock is a loser who I will always try and who I will try and ban for all eternity, man. Bricklock, and he uses voice changes to try to expose me. Bricklock is a sad man. Undisputed, Coachman, Belgium. Do you think this team needs Eden Hazard, and how highly do you rate Grealish? Undisputed. All right, Cassius.
So I didn't watch this game, just like Hassan. I'm actually watching the highlights right now.
Okay.
But so I won't really speak about this match in micro terms. I'm going to talk about it in macro terms. And
Cool.
With Southgate, I mean, I'd like anyone to tell me what is his coaching credibility before joining England, because I've never heard of him before he
got to the World Cup semis. He got to the World Cup semis. That's his.
No, but before that.
Nothing.
He
coached Middlesbrough. And get relegated with Middlesbrough.
Okay. That's why I've never heard of him. So yeah, I don't think Southgate is capable of taking them anywhere. Especially with players like Trippier. I've seen him with Atletico. He's not that good, really. Especially this season, I don't think he's played well at all. He's probably been Atletico's worst player. So I can't really, like I said, I didn't watch the match, so I can't talk about this match. But I'm not sure if you can win anything with Trippier as your right back. Tyrone Mings, in some games for Aston Villa, I think the other Aston Villa center back, I can't remember his name, but sometimes he gets carried by the other Aston Villa center back.
Kunsa.
Yeah. So if you're not even leading the Aston Villa defense, I'm not sure why you're starting for your country. So yeah, I don't think Belgium are capable of winning the Euros with or without Hazard, because I think the 2018 World Cup was their best chance, because now you have Vertonghen and Alderweireld. Those guys are entering their 30s. De Bruyne is going to be 30 by the Euros, if I'm not wrong. Hazard will be 30 by the Euros. So I really think the prime Belgium was the 2018 World Cup.
So you think they've missed their boats there?
I think they'll still be in and amongst it. Maybe if they get a favorable draw, maybe they can get to the final. But I don't think they're better than Portugal or France. So if I had to put them in a list, I would say France, Portugal, and then Belgium, because they still have quality players. Martinez, he's not a tactical mastermind, but I think he's doing really well with Belgium, because Belgium haven't really been that relevant in maybe the last 30 years, but he's doing well. At one point they were the FIFA #1, and now they're competing. At least they're one of the favorites. But I don't think, with or without Hazard, I don't think they have the quality to beat France or Portugal.
All right, Jamal, how do you assess both Belgium and England, and is Southgate holding this team back, or is this team just not talented enough to see what's up at the Euros?
Yeah. First of all, just have to say Southgate is classy. Yeah, he's a horrible manager.
Class B,
Guys, I don't want this to be a bullying thing on Mount, but guys, what Mount does, I mean, I watch him for Chelsea and I watch him for England. He's not good. Well, I mean, his level is a mid-table Premier League side.
Thank,
And nothing's
thank
wrong
you.
with that.
No, and sorry, Jamal. So sorry to stop you. See, this the thing is that people think that when I assess Mount and calling him trash, Mount is not a trash player. Of course he isn't.
No.
Mount in Everton or Southampton, he's their best player.
Yep.
Easily they're the best player, and he will actually flourish. But Mount in a top tier team or in a national side that is thinking of trying to win a trophy is out of place. Because when I watch him, it's like he just runs around. He may do a few flicks here, a few things here, but specifically, he's average. He's average. He looks average when you're now looking at, okay, you're now playing next to a Witsel, a De Bruyne. Look, when you're now playing against high-tier guys, he's average, and he was badly exposed. I know it's Bayern Munich, but when you now saw him in the Champions League, it was like, man, this guy is just out of his depth, bro.
It is. Me too. That game, the Champions League at Stamford Bridge. Guys, watch that game. Mount looks so out of his place. That game is when I start to say, Mount, he's average. He's not that elite of elite. Guys, Greenish is a baller. Greenish, this guy is talented.
Yeah,
but
he is.
I'm gonna be a little bit controversial here. I still don't think he is England's best creator and playmaker. For me, I still think technically Maddison is better.
He isn't.
So?
Like Jamal, if you look at them both, I think the thing about Maddison is that he is good on the run and he can make good passes and everything, but I think he needs to be in a certain rhythm. The thing about Grealish is that he's those player where just give him the ball. Give him the ball in almost every situation. He can think about how to create something. Maddison has to be in the right situation at the right time with the right kind of spacing to be effective. You can't just give Maddison the ball anywhere and he'll put his foot in the ball like, all right, okay, pass, okay, let me put the ball in here. Okay, let me put the ball over in there. So with Grealish, you can see there's a lot more thought process going on when he receives the ball as opposed to like a Maddison. So
yeah, but for me, they should both be in a team. For me, I feel England best midfield is Henderson, Greenish, Maddison. I know that might be a little bit attacking, but not in all the games you could play, but in some games, in certain games, when teams sit deep, I feel that is England, Maddison and Greenish should be playing. So yeah, but the game, Belgium scored 2 early goals and they just give England the ball in the second half. I just think, come on guys, I know Kane, he is a striker, a good striker, but it just wasn't his day today because he had a couple of shots and they just go wide. But I'm not seeing this England team winning anything, man, because the team he picked, I mean, he bring on Harry Winks. Winks is from the road. Come on, man. It have guys like Foldon and all is a better shout. But he just picks these defensive teams. And
I just have to. Once you mentioned the Winks, man, I have to, man. I'm sorry.
you have to. Yeah, but before, one thing I have to say is, I don't know if you see Chilwell. I think he get injured. So you know it's Emerson and Alonso for Chelsea.
Hey, lovely stuff. Jamal, stop that. Hey, stop that, man. Stop that.
Oh yeah, and Trent is way better than Trippier. Trippier is from the road and all too. Trent is better.
Okay, so Jamal, so do you agree with Cassius that Belgium missed their boat? That 2018 was really where they were at their peak, and that was where everybody was at the right stage at the right time to win a major trophy. So you think now that core golden generation just don't have, are not really at the right time for them to win a major trophy with or without Hazard?
Oh, I forgot how I could forget this. You're not gonna be happy for what I have to say about Belgium, but yeah, I agree. The golden generation, I think they're getting too old now because guys, remember Vincent Kompany. He was their centre back. He was a crucial centre back in that run. And right now, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, they're too old, man. I just think the squad is too old. And Belgium isn't going to win anything. Because, guys, with Hazard or without, Hazard is on the decline. Hazard is finished.
Oh, man.
So,
Jamal, man, come on.
Yes, he's finished. Guys, stop living in 2018. Watch the Hazard now, and he's not going to do nothing for Belgium. He's finished. Belgium ain't winning nothing. For me, the favorites are France, Portugal, and guys, I know their manager is trash, but I'll still say Germany. For
I
third,
don't
I'll
think so.
say
No,
third.
Not
So you go in
Germany.
Belgium about Germany?
No,
no,
Germany.
no,
I'm
no.
good
For,
with.
no, for me, Germany, no.
They're
I,
outsiders,
No,
nothing.
no
I
way.
think like they've like basically 2014 was when they really peaked, and I think beyond then, I think that was it, man. That was it. Come on, let me just so from Yas's side, who says Belgium is missing Zad.
No, they don't. Fat that.
So you're saying a fully fit, fully functioning Hazard who is playing at the top of his game doesn't make Belgium one of the favorites at the Euros?
Yes,
The one I'm playing
but
is better anyway.
think-
He's better than
but that
anyway.
that
The
is
move to
gone.
Real Madrid. The move to Real Madrid wasn't good. He should have stayed at Chelsea. Because like I don't think he was at that level to replace Ronaldo. He wasn't at that level enough. That's why he flopped.
Okay, wait, let me. So from Yas's side again, thank you for the super chats. Yes, bro. Says, is Chris Smalling really that bad? No, you shouldn't have
No, he's
sold him.
not.
Now you're stuck with flipping Brick Guire and Brickguard, man. So and Chris Smalling is
never
living his
liked
best
him.
fight. He's not touching United back again. All right, let me come to Samuel, man. So Samuel, give it to me. Thoughts on both this. Thoughts on this Belgium side. Do you think that that's it? They've missed their boats and Grealish, Southgate, and Mount?
All right, first I'm going to talk about England. Forget Southgate being a class B brick. He's a class B brick. This guy be making scumful. I don't know why we are riding on the back of that semi-final. I'll say entry because he beat Sweden,
Panama,
Pandora, whatever that name is.
Colombia
the
without
country.
James Rodriguez. Colombia without
Exactly.
James Rodriguez.
Exactly. The thing is, what annoys me is that the England team is very good if you just bring in the right guys. However, it's like Chelsea and Man United. They've got a good team, but they got bricks as their managers. Do you understand? It's like the England team. They've got a very good team, but they've got a brick as a manager. So when it comes to the Euros, I don't really see England doing anything unless it's for like individual brilliance from either like a Sancho, a Grealish, or if Kane turns up or Sterling does a madness. I can't see England doing anything. So moving on to the Euros. I'm sorry, not the Euros. Belgium. Listen, Belgium did what they had to do. I think their time is gone. Like the golden generation is getting older now. Now I know with HH and his Zard thing, yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. 2016, Zard was playing in the Euros. Who did they get beat by?
Speak on it.
Who did they get beat by?
Wales.
HH, I'm asking you. Who did they get beat by?
Wales.
Gareth Bale.
Samuel,
Gareth Bale.
The
Just
only
speak
person
your
on that
point.
team was Bale. They had sheep farmers on that team.
wait, sorry, Sam, real quick. Can you wear headphones? 'Cause I think we're getting feedback from you. Can you wear like,
Okay,
headphones
feedback.
or earphones?
Okay.
Samuel.
Hold on. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know it was
Don't
Wales.
forget, they was also beaten by the GOAT Robson Cano. The GOAT Robson Cano from Wales.
Lamal, relax. Lamal, relax, man, relax.
Oh,
Relax.
wait.
That was
After I
intense.
speak, I'll go get my headphones. But yeah, just quickly. I don't think Hazard will do anything. To be honest, like we need to stop riding on this semi-final thing where he was running in circles and they didn't even win the game. Like, come on, man. Like, Zard.
He's celebrating losses. It's
Nah.
embarrassing. Hey.
Nah. He's done now. You might as well just go to Burger King. But yeah, I'm done.
They hate that people. bring-
HH,
hate
can
that
you
people
hear
bring.
me now?
Yes. All right. Okay. On this piece, go for it. Belgium, England. Thoughts on them both?
Well, first of all, Belgium did deserve to win the game. They got their goals early and then defended well. England created nothing, to be honest. I can't remember a good chance. And as for Belgium, they definitely missed their chance, 100%. The golden generation is gone. If you look at the spine of that team, in 2018, they had Vertonghen, Alderweireld in their prime. They had Company. They had, even in the midfield, they had Moussa Dembele is probably better when he was younger. He was better than any of their midfielders now. That guy, you could not take the ball off him. Nainggolan was better than any of the guys they have now. The whole spine of that team is so much weaker than it was like 2-3 years ago. 2018 World Cup, that was their moment, and they basically threw it away. As for Southgate, this guy he might be worse than Ollie. This guy is such an idiot. It is actually unbelievable. England's strongest positions are their forwards. Their weakest is their center backs, and this guy plays 3-5-2. Why? Why is he so obsessed with this formation? I don't understand. It is the worst possible formation for this squad. This guy went into the 2018 World Cup semi-final, and against the midfield of Modric, Rakitic, and Brozovic, this guy played with Henderson in a one-man midfield because Dele Alli and Lingard are not midfielders. Think this guy is such a clown. He got so lucky at the World Cup. He is awful. He is honestly horrendous, and there's no chance England are winning anything with him. He might be the luckiest man in football right now because he's been riding off that World Cup semi since then.
So do you think if England were to change managers with these players in this team, do you still think that they could go all the way and win a Euros and beat like France or Portugal?
I think if they got Pochettino, this is a tournament-winning. Like, this squad has enough quality to win a tournament with someone like Pochettino in charge. But not Southgate. No.
And where do you see Belgium? And do you think that 2018 was their best chance? So do you
that game against France? The 2018 game against France was one of the most evenly matched games I've ever seen. It was just one corner. That was the difference between them. It was so evenly matched. If they somehow say they score from a corner instead of France, they win that World Cup. And this Belgium golden generation would be remembered as legendary, but unfortunately, their time has passed now. They're not winning anything anymore. Not with, like, Denier. Who the hell is that guy in defense? No, not with these guys.
He's decent. I can't lie. He's decent.
And they've got, like, Eden Hazard's mediocre brother on wing back now, man. This team isn't winning anything.
Wait, can I just say one thing about it? Who gave that guy the number 10 jersey? That's what I want to know. How
his brother donated it to him.
Eden, what are you doing, bro?
Because
that guy is soiling the number 10 jersey heritage, and he's soiling the name of Hazard. That's sick.
At least he can stay fit. Not like his brother.
Thorgan is trash, man. I'm sorry, Eden. I mean no disrespect, but your little bro is trash. I'm sorry. Let me come to this dude. What was this? Ben? Talk to me, man.
Okay. I believe everyone can hear me. So
Ben, just talk, man. Like, of course, people. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just talk.
Okay. My first take home from this game is that the quality of football generally, not just in England, just generally everywhere, even from the big sides, the big clubs, it's going down. And I think I was listening to Gab McCourtia, and he was saying the fact that the people are playing Wednesdays, that's the big teams, Wednesdays, Saturdays. There's actually no time. Like, coaches don't even train. Like he was saying, talking about some big teams, which, like, he has gone around, and he says there's really no time for any big club. Like, we're saying Pep, and sometimes we're saying, oh, Pep, Klopp, he'll do this. Nobody's teaching anybody anything right now. Like, that's what he was saying. Nothing is being taught. They're just going with what they could do before, and intensity and what they call it, pep talks, just training, just normal doing your workouts and all those kind of stuff. But there's no tactical training. Let's try this out. Nothing like that is going on, at least for now. So it's now telling on, because, and it's worse for the national teams, because if the clubs can't train, where's the time going to come for national teams to train? And you look at how they played, not just England and Belgium. Just look at all the teams. They're just playing like.
Well. To be fair, that France-Belgium game was pretty good.
That's the France-Belgium. Sorry, I'm talking about England-Belgium. Sorry.
No. Sorry. The France-Portugal game was actually pretty good.
Yeah. That's why. Sorry, I meant to say not just the England. Because France is still the best team in the world, so they should be able to come through. So, well, that's my major take home. England were trying to do things, but they weren't. You could see that that final pass for somebody to do. There was just not that killer pass to just end it there. So they did very well, but it wasn't. Harry Kane was trying to. I think Lukaku cleared.
Yeah, that was a very good clearance. Man. Very good clearance.
Very, very, very crucial. From Lukaku.
So how highly do you rate Grealish? Do you really think he's as good as people say he is based on his for Grealish?
Oh yeah, Grealish is quality. Is there only who is there? Do they have any creative player? They don't have any creative player. I think only Grealish.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Sancho. What's the difference between Sancho? Let's be frank. What's the difference between Sancho and Sterling? Like in terms of the way they drive forward.
Ben, relax.
No. Sterling is not a bad player. No. Wait now.
Ben, watch your language.
Watch your language. No. Sterling is not. I'm not saying Sterling is not a bad player. Sterling runs, makes like if you at his best with England, he actually creates for them. So I'm saying, what's the difference between like their style of play? They're wingers, they're forwards. They're not really creative players in like number 10s like that create. So Grealish is their only, or is it Mount?
Easy.
So they don't have that. And something else, their coach is that guy's Lampard. It has to be Lampard, because I don't understand why you're playing 3-4-2-1. Okay, I would understand if there was strength, because okay, you want to play with a wing back who can who can trip, yeah. Oh God, are you tripping? The guy cannot do that. He can't. Oh my God, they were just it wasn't. And for Belgium, he just matched the formation of Belgium, and that's what Belgium have been playing since I can remember. So they were very, very solid.
But do you think for this Belgium side, like, it's over for them? Because people keep telling me that, don't hate on De Bruyne, don't be anti-white. With or without Hazard, don't you think De Bruyne is good enough to play a major factor for this side to win the Euros?
It's already clear. We've talked about this many times. De Bruyne is not that. I think somebody mentioned the word alpha, but it's not a player that is the man. Yes, he's a very quality player, but it's not the man to take you. Like, it's just not going to do it. It's just not that kind of player. I think Lukaku is even a more that kind of player.
For sure.
Yeah, so I don't think
Robin. De Bruyne is Robin. He will never be Batman. De Bruyne, he's Robin. He will never be Batman.
Yeah. No. He's Robin.
Though is quality. Though is a very quality player.
No.
Okay, yeah. So I said, though is a very quality player, I don't think he has what it takes to. That's just in his personal character. I'm not saying he has, like, footballing wise, he can do it, but I don't think mentally he does enough to be able to take that team where they need to be.
All right, so let me just say this. So from yes side, thank you for super chat, big man. Hear me out. Arsene Wenger for England manager. He would be much better than Southgate, that's for sure. I just don't see them. I don't see England hiring I don't see England hiring Wenger. But I've always said I would have liked to see Wenger for France. Wenger with his French squad, tasty. But look, Deschamps is still doing his thing. Wenger with this England team, I've always said that Harry Redknapp was an underrated coach. Bringing Harry Redknapp with these guys will start playing far better entertaining football. The football is dry and unseasoned. It's very unseasoned football because of your boy Southgate. So yeah, Wenger would be, almost anybody would be better than flipping Southgate, but yeah, Wenger would definitely be a lot more better than that dude. From Jay's Daname, thank you for the super chats, big man. England by far need a new coach, because with all players back on the pitch and the fit, they have some quality on that pitch, 100%. Because we didn't see Sterling, we didn't see Rashford. There are a lot of good guys that England have, and I think especially with seeing what Grealish can do, I'm like, okay. And hopefully when Sancho gets back on form, England's best chance to win the Euros is to change the manager. But the issue is, England got so hyped with the kind of good-natured story of Southgate reaching the semis that England are not even thinking of sacking Southgate. And I mean, because of that, they're not sniffing that Euros. The moment England face a real team, a proper team, they're getting beat. 100% that they're getting beat. Danny Jones, man, DJO, talk to me.
Yep.
England and Belgium, man. Where do you see these teams at?
Yeah, England, man. I mean, let's just be real for a second here. Like the England squad itself is one of the most talented in the world. It's so talented. But every time I watch them play or watch England play, I am just so confused on what exactly they're trying to do. Like, I've been watching football for years, and I've never been this confused. Every time I look at the lineup or the formations or anything, I'm just like, how? How did you actually come up with this? So yeah, but Belgium today were pretty average. I don't think they were like amazing or anything.
But do you think that it was a case of them being average, or because they got 2 early goals, they just sat back and just said, "Hey, England,
Nah,
play all the football you want"?
I genuinely think like they were pretty average, and England were just playing terrible football. Like that was it. They were just playing really, really bad football. Even the game they played, the last one, not this one, the one before. I can't remember exactly against who it was. The 2 best players on the pitch by far were Saka and Grealish, and like I'm not an England fan, right? Because I don't know, I don't feel like I have much to do with England, but my dad is, and he was like messaging me and stuff, telling me just how angry he was at watching England and how bad they were playing. So yeah, but yeah, as I said before, Grealish and Saka by far they just show like they want to play for England. They show like they're trying their best, and like when I see them play, they look like the best players on the pitch, even though we all know like they might not be the best. And so anyway, I just want to talk about Southgate as well.
Go for it.
Because I don't know where the hell they found this guy. Like, I don't know how he ended up in the job for England manager is just beyond me. And then you see all these players who are managed by like Mourinho, Klopp, Guardiola, like they're all coached by them, right? The entire year. And all of a sudden, once every few weeks, they go and train with Southgate.
There's that switch.
I don't know how it feels to go from Guardiola to Southgate, but I don't expect it to be very motivating, to be honest.
Which is why I always said that for Liverpool fans, don't expect to see the trends for Liverpool do that for England. Because yes, Trent is talented and everything, but a lot of that is down to Klopp's coaching and his management. But once Trent now comes to with under Southgate, you ain't going to see that. And also, Daniel, my thing is how good were England really at that World Cup, performance-wise?
No, they weren't that good, bro. But the problem with Southgate, the biggest problem with Southgate, is that England, unless something terrible happens, they're not going to sack this guy. This guy's going to stay in the job for a very long time. And I don't know. I just see it as like just a waste of talent. You know, that's the most annoying bit. Yeah, man, that's it.
All right. Guys, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. Hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get those likes up, man. We'll go 160 guys in here. Let's get to 100 likes. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Jerry, talk to me. England and Belgium. Jerry.
Hello. Yeah, sorry. How do I start? Thanks for having me, first of all. And just want to say that I am done with Jordan Pickford. Pickford is a guy that annoys me, and I hate him so much because after that Van Dijk challenge, I was done with him completely. He is a guy that cost us a lot. He's worse than Joe Hart. So he's worse than him. And Grealish, I'm happy that he started the game. He played for 9 minutes. I don't know how long it took for Southgate to realize that Grealish is our best player.
Wait. Do you blame Pickford for that first goal though? Because it's had a deflection.
It was. I had to blame him because that was. I don't know how he managed to miss that. He is so bad. He could have saved it. So many people. Like Henderson could have saved that. Dean Henderson should be playing, not Pickford.
Yeah. Okay.
And the thing is, England haven't gone into this generation. They have so many good players, but Southgate doesn't know how to pick the right people. Just have to pick the right formation. Like last year, we played 4-3-3, like in the fixtures of the Euros. We played 4-3-3, and then next year you changed it. Why are you changing it for? 4-3-3 was the best formation. And can I tell you one thing? Harry Kane hasn't scored in the last 5 games. You know, he hasn't scored last 5 games because of the formation that Gareth Southgate puts him in. It's not good. He should be, yeah. And also Sancho should be one starting because after that Allen game.
But he's been out of form though. He has been out of form.
Yeah, but he obviously because of that Man United situation, because he was meant to come to Man United, and that's what Man United. He was meant to come to England to play for Man United, but obviously that didn't happen, so that's why he felt a bit upset. But obviously he has to move on, and he needs to get up his game, because if he doesn't, because he can miss out on Euros, and there's so many good players. Jack Grealish, I think he'll be playing more games now than Sancho. And in the Euros, I need to see Southgate being serious, because if it's not serious, then I'm done with him, because he needs to go back to
But what about Belgium? So Belgium, what chances do you give them at the Euros?
They're not good. They're not good enough. No Hazard. Hazard is dead now. I'm sorry. I know you're a fan of Hazard. I know you're a Hazard fan, but he's dead now. He's done. I don't think they're good enough. De Bruyne,
he's still alive, actually. Just to say.
I know, but I know this. I don't think he's at the level anymore. The prime Hazard's gone. Ever since he walked into Real Madrid, he hasn't been in good form. He also 2 goals in 2 years, which is quite bad. And Lukaku, he's improved now ever since he left. He's been good, but I don't think he'll carry the team to the Euros, like Euro knockout stages. And yeah.
Okay. Let me just hit this before I come to Abdullahi, man. Yass's side says that guys, Henderson went off with a muscular injury at halftime. This is crazy, man. How useless is an international break? And also heard as well that Andy Robertson might be out as well. So Liverpool might have to call me up to play for them, man. It's serious. From
Hell no.
Samuel, easy, relax, chill, have hope. Chelsea play Newcastle on Saturday. Samuel,
Get relegated.
They play Newcastle on Saturday. Relax, Samuel. Let's hope Chelsea get that dub. Let's hope that Chelsea and let's hope that Ziyech is fully fit. So Samuel, relax. Ziyech is still fit.
Newcastle have no chance. Newcastle have no chance. Newcastle have no chance. Chelsea are 100% winning me.
Shush.
The whole league
I'm
doesn't
going to
have
mute
a
you, Samuel. I'm going to mute you. Mute you. Shut up.
Easy lubrication.
From Jay-Z Daname 1. Thank you for the super chat. Is Italy back on track for 2022? Let the panel discuss this. Okay, actually, let me just come to Abdullahi first, and we'll talk about Italy, and then I'll do like a general thing about Italy. So Abdullahi, quickly, England, Belgium, before we talk about Italy. So England, Belgium.
I think for the England team, I think the problem with the England team, they have a very good player, Sterling, Sancho, Grealish, but the problem with they have a break manager in Gareth Southgate. That guy needs to be inducted in Class B. I don't know why you have been inducting.
I'm working on it, man.
No. You inducted PSG badge. You inducted so many people's badge. Why are you not inducting Gareth Southgate? I need the conversation about that. How many people are being inducted? You need to induct that guy. I really don't know. It's like, what certificate did he even get to become a manager of England? That team has a potential of winning teams, but when
he reached the World Cup semis, man. He reached the World Cup semis.
Really? He reached how many penalties? Does it take him to win to reach the World Cup semis? So I don't really think that guy is the way forward for this team. They need a proper manager. They have the right players to win trophies, but they have a break manager who doesn't even know what he's doing. Who doesn't know. Today 4-3-3, tomorrow 3-5-2, next tomorrow 3-4-3. What the hell is going on? What's going on with that team? They have Sancho, Sterling, Grealish. So what's going on with that team? Now for me, I don't even rate Pickford. Then Anderson should be the goalkeeper. Why is it Pickford? Even Nick Pope is better than Pickford at the moment. Why is Pickford keeping? That is the political problem of England. So many politics is going on. Rather for them to say the truth and be factual, they put on lies upon lies upon lies. So they won't go forward.
So do you think that with a different manager, can they win the Euros? with these players.
With a very good manager, they can. I reckon will take this team way forward because that's the proper manager who they need. I really don't know what's going on for them hiring Gareth Southgate. Where is he taking them to? Nowhere. Yeah, you can bring in good players like Bukayo Saka, Tammy Abraham, this kind of player. But I can tell you something. Out of those players, who is going to be the starting 11? Southgate himself doesn't even know if he's starting 11. He doesn't know. Today, top and change. Today, Maguire. Tomorrow, Mix. Next tomorrow, Kane. Upper tomorrow, you're going to play with Calvert Lewin. So what's going on with him? What's going on? So you cannot be chop and change every time. It doesn't make any sense. If you want to play 4-3-3, stick with it. And for me, England best players is Grealish, and for me, Grealish, Raheem Sterling, and JJ Sancho. The problem with Sancho is Manchester divided transfer has been the issues with them, because there's a rumor about him going to United for the whole transfer window. Coming to United.
So, wait, forget that. Belgium. Talk about Belgium.
I think guys need to chill about Eden Hazard. That team needs Hazard a lot. Yes, people may say his transfer to Real Madrid has not been good. I completely understand. I'm not arguing. But that team need Eden Hazard to that team. That team need because people are saying, for me, I rate KDB, but is it the right one to take them forward? No, because that team has no drive. When you start that place, it turns up a lot. It's a money for Belgium. Belgium national team is the money for them. There's never been a day where Hazard play for Belgium where he never turn up. He turns up every time he plays. They know he's the talisman for that team. Just like the talisman for Portugal when they have Cristiano Ronaldo. So it's a talisman for them. He may be brick. He may not play very well for Real Madrid, but when it comes to Belgium national team, Hazard gives his all for that team. He's the talisman for that team.
So with a fully fit Hazard, do you think they can win the Euros, or do you
of
think
course, they have the talent to win it. With a fully fit Hazard, they can win that Euro. The problem with Hazard is mentality problem.
Okay. Wait, no. Okay. So, question for the panel then, since I just want to go back to that super chat that was sent by a friend. Italy. See, here's my thing about Italy. Italy's greatest strength is their mentality and their character. I think that is why they won it in 2006. That's why they won the World Cup in 2006. That's why they won the World Cup in 1982. That's why they got to the final in 1994. Almost every time they've succeeded is because of their character and how they just dig in deep. So my thing about this Italy team is there are not any exceptional players. There's no Baggio, Del Piero, Nesta, Cannavaro. Romagnoli ain't no Nesta or Cannavaro. And as much as I rate Insigne, he ain't no Del Piero. So the kind of quality that they had, like flipping, there's nobody even close to Pirlo. Tonali is alright, but Tonali is a C-Tech Pirlo. So for me,
not even Marco.
Marco.
Yeah, Marco.
Okay, let's say that Marco. See, think about Marco. Marco is the only naturally talented player in his Italy team, but Marco alone can't carry his entire team, and that's too much. Marco needs help. So guys, so for anyone out there, do you think Italy can actually win these Euros? I don't think so.
You can't win a Euros if your starting right winger is Bernardeschi.
And your striker is Belotti.
I think the best that they can do is the underdogs. They can be the underdogs.
Although, can I say something?
Go for it.
In the big countries, they are maybe if you remove France, they're the only team who play like a team. Think about it.
But
Spain,
is that enough for them to go all the way though?
No. But teams that play like a team, they can be very dangerous.
True.
That's the thing. They can be very dangerous. But I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win. But when you're depending on Germany, they have so many stars. They're not. There's no cohesion. Look at and that's what's same happening in England. So I think, they look good. They look like, I think because most of their players stay in Italy, like they stay in Italy. I mean, and play within their leagues there, and so they have a lot of understanding. But that's the only thing I can give them.
Yeah, can I say something?
Go for it, Jamal. Go for it.
Yeah, something now come up. So guys, I might have to leave. But before I go, I just want to say I don't want to hear no slander about Gerrard. He's the best English midfielder of all
Don't
time.
worry. I will hold it down. Don't worry, I will hold it down.
Okay, all right. It's that's a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue for us to roll through. So here we are, man. So guys, remember in all of these things, man. These debates that we're going to be doing every Sunday, it is where we pretty much look at different players. And we look at, because again, you already know where the Hall of Fame is and where I have my horsemen, I have my legends, I have my greats. And I want us every single Sunday is to debate where should players be ranked? How good were players really? So like Saturday is sort of dealing with everything current. Sunday is stuff that's current, but Sunday is specifically for the players who've retired and for us to look back at their careers and see, okay, well, how good were they really? What did they do? And let us just properly critique them. So a thing that has obviously been going on has been this whole thing of Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard. Lampard, Scholes, and Gerrard. And you see, the beauty thing about this because there is a right answer. There is a right answer, but before we even get to the right answer, we have to just go on a trajectory here. Is they all have different qualities, and they're all very different players. Yes, they're midfielders, but even if they're midfielders, they're all very different players in what they do. So just to put very simply, and then I want to just get everyone's take. In the Gerrard, you have a guy who is a multi-purpose player, who you can put him in a DM, CM, number 10. He can tackle, he can pass. He is like a jack of all trades that can do many several things. And he's one of those guys where in a kind of big game, he can come clutch and really say what's up in a big game. Lampard, one of the best goal-scoring midfielders that I've ever seen. In terms of the ability to score goals at a frequency, it's one of the best I've ever done. And just that his shooting technique and how he mastered the art of getting himself in good pockets and scoring was amazing. So just in that sense, there are not many people who are pure midfielders who have the kind of goal-scoring acumen as him. And for Paul Scholes, just in terms of his passing ability and his ability to control a game. And I believe Javi said that, Paul Scholes, that is one of the best English players. And I think for Scholes, it was so much that I remember one time when United was sort of struggling. They didn't have many midfielders. And Ferguson actually called Scholes and said, yo, bro, I need you to come and help me out here. And this was Scholes back in retirement. So before we even go into who is the best, let's do this. So we have these three players now. I want to just give you your general thoughts on all three players, how you rate them, and then tell me who you feel is the best. And then we then move on. So for each person, say a bit about each three players, then tell me who you would pick out of those three, and then we'll then go from there. So Cassius, hit it.
So like you were saying with Lampard, like you said, he's goal-scoring midfielder. I don't know what else to say about him. I mean, he scored. Well, I mean, what else do you want me to say? He scored. That's probably the headline thing about him. He scored plenty of goals. I don't know how many, the specific number, but I know he has the record for the most Premier League goals as a midfielder.
Yeah.
Who's next? Gerrard. What he did for Liverpool in 2005. I don't think he carried Liverpool in 2005. I think it was more of a team effort. But I mean, getting Liverpool in a tough moment, throughout within the 30-year drought to 2 Champions League finals, that certainly has its merits. And Scholes with Man United, I remember he scored a goal against, if I'm not wrong, he scored against Inter Milan in '99. So he could score goals, he could pass. He was a very well-rounded player. If we're talking about technical ability, I would probably say Scholes is the best with the best tight control, first touch, passing. But to be honest, if I was picking a team, I would take Gerrard.
Okay, I'll come back to why that. So Hassan, what actually? Oh, come on, Hassan, don't be biased, man. Just be objective.
I won't be biased.
Okay.
Be biased.
Lampard was a great striker. He's not a midfielder. The guy's a great striker.
Whoa.
He
So you
lives in
don't
the
class
box.
him as a
Great
midfielder.
striker.
What the heck?
He's a striker. He's a amazing striker.
Sam, shush. Sam, shush.
He was a mid.
That's all he was. He's a great striker, man. Scholes, he's alright. That's all I got to say about them two. Now, Horseman Gerrard, where do I start? Horseman Gerrard.
Hassan, relax. Hassan,
Yes.
don't use that name in vain. Do not dare use that name in vain.
Listen,
please.
Hector, you know the Horseman. Just you know.
Hassan,
Stop hating on
I'm
the
warning
man.
you. Hassan, watch your language. Watch your language, my dear friend. The heck?
What can I say about Gerrard, man? All-round game was quality. He was a damn good long passer. That's what we don't give credit to him for. Could tackle, big game player. I mean, what could he do, man? I don't know how it's a discussion for me. Scholes, of course, he was better technically, but just because you're better technically doesn't mean you're a better player than someone. And the Scholes could not tackle. That's people don't know about Scholes.
So, okay, but how? So, okay, no, you've now called Lampard a striker. Okay, let's put that there. So you said, why would you say Gerrard is a better midfielder than Scholes?
Because he can just do more in the midfield than Scholes. Yes, Scholes can dictate play haters, but he cannot tackle. I mean, and he had a great team around. Let's be honest, he had a great team around him. He didn't have to struggle in his career. Let's be honest, and that same goes for Lampard. That's why I give an edge to Gerrard as well. He played with Alonso. Yeah, that's cool. Alonso quality, but he played with crap players as well, and he came clutch in big games. So overall, it's just better for me.
Samuel.
Horseman.
All right, cool. Let me just start on this one. So, all right, let me just say good things about all three of them, and I'll say he's the best. All right, let's start with Lampard. Lampard, very good goal scorer. His stats prove it all. Again, as somebody said, that he's probably he's the top goal scorer, midfield goal scorer in the Premier League.
177.
Yeah. So that it speaks volumes for itself. A very hard worker as well. So, and he played in a very good, one of the greatest of all time Chelsea teams. So I can say that about him. Scholes, technically good, technically brilliant. Actually, I put him in the same class as like a Pearl or something with the technical ability. What he can do with the ball and what he could do to dictate the midfield in a great Man United team is brilliant. And then Gerrard. Let me not even get into this one a bit too much. I might do 2 hours on him. But anyways, Gerrard, an great all-rounder. Literally can play in any position. Cam, left mid, right mid, CDM, or in a pivot. I also saw him play right back. So listen, like Gerrard, he's technically he was great as well. Had the long shots, had the passing, the short and the long passings. So and I see Man United fans going mad in the comments, especially that one guy, I can't remember his name, man. Relax, man. Gosh, I'm being fair. And yeah. Out of all of them, but obviously I'll explain later why.
Okay.
I believe that Gerrard was better.
All right, Daniel.
Yeah, so for me, it's very simple. Lampard was amazing technically, had great vision, and to be honest, I didn't see much from him because I started watching football quite late on. Scholes, same thing, technically amazing. He was a mentality giant along with everyone in that Man United team. But I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible here, even though I'm slightly similar to you, HH. I'm a complicated Liverpool fan. Yeah. So, but for me, it's Gerrard every time, and the reason that is because what he did on a football pitch and off the football pitch is incredible. He did so much. Like the thing is, Lampard and Scholes, they're very good football players, but what Gerrard did for Liverpool is beyond football. Like, thing is, a lot of Liverpool fans, they try to explain to you that Gerrard is better of a footballer and all this, but in reality, what Gerrard did for the club is like, so basically, I don't know if you've watched the documentary on Amazon, but you should definitely check that out. they explained how after Hillsborough, right, which was in the 80s, Liverpool at that time, they were pretty much winning everything, and they were one of the greatest clubs in Europe. And after Hillsborough, it almost seemed like the whole city was, they just didn't want to watch football at the time. And the football at Liverpool, it was just becoming worse and worse, and people started getting less interested in Liverpool Football Club. And there was only one glimmer of hope, and that was Gerrard. And he pretty much carried that entire team. He carried that team through the worst patches of its history, and he managed to actually. Obviously, it wasn't on his own, but he actually managed to stay in that team to actually go ahead and win a Champions League with Liverpool, which is incredible. And so, look.
So something tells us that your arguments leans more towards the intangibles.
Yeah, I think it's more to do, if we talk about greatness in football, like I'm just looking at it as what he did for his football club, and what he did as in his career, in my opinion, completely surpasses what Lampard and Scholes did, even though in terms of technical ability and footballing ability, they may all be very similar, very, very similar. I just think that Gerrard, what he did for Liverpool was insane. So for me, it has to be Gerrard every time.
All right, so let me just take a few comments here, see what guys are saying. So Lampard is top 5 Premier League assists as well. Gerrard is a better player, but Scholes is better technically. Someone says that, name me one thing Gerrard couldn't do. Says that Gerrard couldn't keep the ball as well as Scholes. No Scholes' IQ, but I get it. Okay, no, not all right. Let's just go through everyone, and then we could then go deeper into this argument in a footballing sense.
Gerrard bottled hella times.
Always maybe easy. So, and from Trudon, thank you for super chats, Mr. Trudon. Says Gerrard was the better player, could do it all, carried Liverpool for years with a lot of bricks half the time. England's GOAT, #Horseman. England's GOAT.
Let me get number 2.
What the hell?
The heck? You see,
this guy's ordering in the middle of the show.
Yes, I mean, this guy's just the absolute nonsense. So no, I don't say so. This guy says that he carried Liverpool for years with a lot of bricks half the time. Okay, you see, that's why it just comes back to the whole thing of deciphering between greatness and best. But we'll get there. We'll get there, because I think there needs to be a distinction between greatness and best. Because I do agree with you that Gerrard did do a lot of carry. And I think Gerrard's high is higher than probably Lampard and Scholes, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Ben, talk to me.
Well, I'll start from Paul Scholes. I think obviously he's technically the best of all three, and he could score goals as well. He could shoot as well, but he was very, very was a good passer of the ball. He was very intelligent player, very good. He could control the midfield very well. I think not just Xavi. I think Zidane, Pirlo as well. They said they put in good words about him, saying I think that is the best midfielder or so, something like that. Lampard. Well, let me hear Lampard. That guy's stats actually ridiculous, man. Is that guy a midfielder?
Benjamin, please. I am coming for Liverpool fans. Please.
Wait, no, that guy is the all-time Chelsea's all-time top scorer, all time. Like, he scored more goals than Drogba. I know Drogba, but he scored more goals than any striker in Chelsea's history. That's crazy. That's a midfielder and is your club's all-time goal scorer. Okay, let's leave that. Then he's in the top 5 of Premier League all-time goals. That's crazy. He's in the top 5 Premier League assists. That's crazy. So I think, yes, as much as we're just trying to say you can't just push goals and such efficiency, you can't just push it out. You can't just sweep it out, under the carpet. That has to count for something. A midfielder can't do all of that. And actually, if you go on YouTube and you check if he was also creative, yes, he was also creative. So I think it was really good. Gerrard is like a combination of like I think them both, like, he could do everything. He could tackle. He could control the midfield. He could pass. He could shoot. My God, that guy is long range. I think of the three of them, he has the longest, like he can score long shots a lot. He's a big game player. I know he just like the big game player. The big game player. Yeah, so he has that personality. Is that I think he has that like alpha kind of sensation. When you see him on the pitch, you know he's the leader.
My friend, who are you choosing? Who are you choosing?
Yeah, no. I have to talk about the three of them. But then before I check the statistics, I was going with Gerrard. But oh my God, this Lampard is crazy. I have to go with Lampard. I have to start. You cannot.
So basically, you're a stats merchant, basically.
First of all, appearances. What statistics in the Premier League is this guy not in the top 5? Just go and check. This is ridiculous. This guy's a midfielder.
He had Drogba.
But those numbers are
Samuel, Liverpool fans, I'm coming for you guys. Just chill, man. Chill, guys.
Like I said,
coming, man.
Let me just conclude. Let me conclude. So initially, without seeing this or this debate, normally I would automatically go with Scholes, because I think it's technically the best footballer out of all three of them. But then I said, let me watch videos of three of them. And after watching videos, I thought, okay, Gerrard is the best. But after seeing the stats, I have to go with Lampard. Lampard is the best.
Okay.
I have to go with Lampard.
All right, let me come to Jerry then. Jerry.
HH.
Hello.
I have to leave soon. So can I quickly jump in?
Wait, is this Undisputed? Who is this?
Yeah. I just have to leave soon.
Yeah, okay, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, Steven Gerrard is one of the most complete midfielders I have ever seen. Passing, goal scoring, defending, versatility, everything unbelievable. He's the best. Lampard, amazing goal scorer, but not as complete as Gerrard. Scholes, the most overrated player of the 21st century.
Thank you.
Let me explain.
Let me explain. This one we love to hear, man.
The most overrated player of the 21st century.
Yeah, let me explain. 1999 Champions League semi-final. Juventus against Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson played in midfield of Roy Keane and Nicky Butt. Scholes was on the bench. He was 26 years old and in his prime. Can you imagine a manager benching a prime Steven Gerrard? Can you imagine a manager benching a prime Frank Lampard? Scholes got benched in his prime in a Champions League semi-final. Roy Keane is by far the greatest Manchester United midfielder of the Premier League era. By far. Roy Keane was the engine of Manchester United. Forget Scholes. This should be Roy Keane. Roy Keane against Gerrard against Lampard. That would be an actual debate. Scholes doesn't deserve to be in this. Roy Keane was Manchester United's greatest midfielder in the Premier League, or that's all. As for Scholes being compared to Xavi and Iniesta, he's not even nowhere near. Nowhere near. He's closer to Michael Carrick than he is to Xavi and Iniesta.
Damn.
Great content, man.
Okay, so on this, so who did you pick then? So who is your pick?
Gerrard, a slight edge over Lampard, because I just feel he had more talent, more technique. But they were both great. But Gerrard just edges it over Lampard. Scholes is a glorified Michael Carrick. Peace out.
Peace.
A glorified. It's a good thing the guy went to it, because I was about to go in on that. Wow. All right, look, man. Jerry, talk to me.
What that guy said was absolutely bullshit. I didn't even bother listening to him. So, yeah, what I was going to say, like, all three of them, Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes, all three of them are but all legends. I respect all of them. Lampard was a good player for Chelsea, good goal-scoring midfielder. Gerrard, what he did for Liverpool was ridiculous. Even though he didn't win in the Premier League, he still stayed there because he loved the club. And he still won a lot of trophies, and I have respect for him. And his goals from distance, long range, as can be, it was really fantastic. but the guy I have to go with, because I'm a true Man United fan, is Paul Scholes, because this guy has technique. He has got everything. He has been most important player for Alex Ferguson, and even though he was on the bench, he was still important with Ferguson. Let me tell everyone this: Ferguson had a squad. He had the squad, so you can't expect him to play every game. He had the squad, and Paul Scholes won lot of titles. He won more Champions League. He's been Ferguson's right man for years, and I have to respect what he has done. His goals were good. He's been very important midfielder for us, and he's just true legend.
Okay. Abdullahi, talk to me, man. Yes.
Can you bring that stat back for me? That Lampard stat, bring it back. Please, no, bring it back.
Look at this stat merchant.
Bring it back.
Guys, this is Lampard. So guys, I'm gonna talk about the three of them, and I'm gonna talk about Lampard last. In terms of Paul Scholes, I read Paul Scholes a lot because in terms of them technical ability, he has that pass. He can also score goals too. People doesn't get him that, but he can score goals too. And in that United team, I would say for me, Paul Scholes is like the most important player in that team, because if you look at how he passes and how he plays, he's more technically gifted player. I will put him in the like of maybe Xavi Hernandez, Andres Pirlo, all those kind of passer player who are very good in passing ability, and he can score goals too in terms of that. And I rate him very highly. So in terms of Steven Gerrard, people say Gerrard can do this, Gerrard can do that. Yeah, Gerrard can play as a DM. He can play as both on the right midfield and there's also left midfield. He can play both. He's very technical player. He can also shoot and score goals. Completely understand. But you cannot tell me Steven Gerrard is the accolade of that 2005 Istanbul AC Milan matches. It wasn't that key player. It was part of those key, because that team is a completely team, not just one individual players. Yes, he plays part in that team, but it wasn't that much best players in that team. It was part of those best players who showed up.
Really?
Yes, it was that. In that team,
Let's land.
A lot of players there who I can see, yes, did a lot of stuff. But Steven Gerrard, for me, I read Gerrard a lot. But in the kind of way in which Liverpool fans rate him, I do not. He's that kind of player that is very good, shooting ability, everything he has that ability. So let's talk about Lampard now. You said eye test, right? You don't use stats, right? Lampard for me is one of the most best players in England for me, in terms of shooting, scoring. People say he can't defend. He can also defend and tackle too.
Yeah.
What Steven Gerrard and Paul Scholes can do. He can also pass. He can shoot. There's nothing Lampard can do. People doesn't rate him that high because people say he's a goal scorer. No, it's more than a goal scorer. People are saying because he has what scored. He has Didier Drogba. There are some times in that Chelsea team we don't have Drogba. Lampard pop on and score goals. 2003 when we won the EPL. 2004, 5-6. I could remember back-to-back EPL. I could remember very, very well. Very, very well. Jose era was there. He won it. Carlo Ancelotti era was there. He won it. When Jose came back, Lampard was there. We won the EPL also too. So people can't underrate how Lampard has been good. He's a very versatile player. He can play both DM, both mid. Anywhere you want him to play, he will play.
Wait. You said Lampard can play DM?
Yes, he can. I've seen him play DM.
This guy's smoking the
No. Yes,
finest crack.
No, yes, he can. He can. Under when they say but what's called Mikel Obi. Mikel Obi wasn't the DM. Mikel was the number 10. He was about to go to United when they say bought him. He was about to go to United.
No, just like I have been watching Chelsea for quite a while, and I'm not sure whether I remember Lampard playing DM. That's what I'm saying.
He can play there if you want him to play. He can.
All right.
No. I'm like, there's a difference between Did Lampard ever play DM for Chelsea?
Yeah, he can play. I've seen him play DM.
Abdullahi, forget Abdullahi, don't use the word can. Did he? Forget can.
No,
did he play DM for Chelsea?
Did or can he? There's a difference between that. When you say can, means he can do it. When you want him to do that job, he can. When people
no. But I'm like, did he ever do it? Yes or no?
He didn't ever, but I said he can when he wants to. There's a difference between that. It's English. So when you say did he do it, which means does he kind of play that part? There's a difference between that. Between did he or
Abdullahi's point is void. His point is void.
Hear me out. There's a difference between did
Abdullahi, you just shot yourself in the foot, bro. What the hell?
No. There's a difference. We need to understand proper English. There's a difference between did he
I
do it
understand what
or
you're
can he
saying.
do it?
Chelsea fans, this is the guy that's backing your Lampard, yeah?
No.
That's what I'm just saying.
No. I understand what he's saying.
There's a difference between did he do it or can he do it. People said, okay, I'll put this as an example. People said Ugolo can't play as a DM. He's a box-to-box player, it's not a DM. But can he play as a DM? Of course he can.
But he has played as a DM.
Kante played DM. Lampard never played DM.
Kante is not a DM, but he can play. He can.
No, Abdullahi Kante has played as a DM. That's the issue. I never saw Lampard play as a DM. Do you know that Lampard knows how to read the game, intercept passes, make tackles, protect the defense the way that Kante does, the way that Casemiro does, the way that Busquets does?
Okay. Yes, in that kind of aspect, you say, those are what you say when you say did he. There's a difference between did he. Yes, Kante, Busquets, Casemiro, those are their job because they can play as a proper DM. But Lampard is not the proper DM, but when you want him to do that job, he can. That's my point.
Okay.
Not that he will. There's a difference between that he can't do it when he wants to do it.
Can I actually get something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Marcelo.
Wait.
No. This is very related to this.
Okay,
Okay, Marcelo and Ashley Cole. Who do you consider a better left back?
Marcelo and Ashley Cole. Is it in terms of going forward or coming back?
No. I'm not asking a question. I asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's to HH. But I know I knew HH would say Ashley Cole. But for other people, who would you go for normally?
Ashley Cole. Marcelo can't defend.
Sorry?
Marcelo can't defend. I'll go for Ashley Cole for me.
Ashley Cole is way better.
Way better player.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you know, well, that's because most of us here know that. Okay, yes, Marcelo can't defend, but like majority of fans will go for Marcelo. That's the truth, because of his output, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Gerrard can do every single thing you need from a midfielder. He can go forward, he can go does, but you can't. It's just the way you can't. The kind of output that Marcelo put out during his career is too ridiculous. It's too ridiculous for you to now say. Yes, we're saying it here. Oh, yes, it's better than that. But who will say that outside? Nobody's going to say Marcelo. Marcelo is regarded as one of, if not the best left back in a long time. And that's the same way you have to look at this. Lampard's output is too ridiculous. That is too much.
Too much.
How can a midfielder look at this? Look at that now. Come on, Abba.
No.
Did he show up in finals?
Yeah, he did. Yes, you want me to bring it out for me?
CL final.
Go back to the Champions League final. He did.
CL final that you lost.
No. Quarters, semis, and final. He showed up. Napoli,
round off your points, my friend.
Barcelona. Yes,
Abdullahi, my friend. Please round off your points. Just round off your points so we can go to other people. Round off your points.
So for me, overall, I will go for Frank Lampard. For me, I know Steven Gerrard is good. He has those attribute of passing, defending, shooting. But for me, if you look at those output overall together, I'll go for Frank Lampard for me. I will.
Okay. So let me just hit some super chats here from guys, and I'll come to Max. So from Martin Rosario, who says undisputed is quite the character. No, he's not. He is deluded, completely and utterly deluded. And I don't know why he ran away from the smoke. From King Gambani, thank you for super chats, Mr. King. In 2005, tell me a better central midfielder than Lamps. 100%. If you're just going by that year, Lamps was a playmaking DM at times, CM, attacking midfielder, support strike, etc.
Exactly.
Knows his football. He was never
I did not say he will, but he can when you want him to do the job.
And also, DM is different from deep lying playmaker.
Wait, can I just ask Abdullahi one quick question?
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who was better in the Premier League in their time in the Premier League? Hazard or Mane?
Where is in the era of what year? Because
in the Premier League time. In the Premier League time, on the consistent level, for me, I'll go for Eden Hazard for me because he has Mane has better output than Hazard in his time in the Premier League.
No,
are you sure?
By your Lampard argument, Gerrard should be better than him.
No. In terms of output, I can't even put Steven Gerrard there. If I want to put an output, I can't put it because if you look at those output,
you're basing stats on the player. So that's why I asked you who was better.
Okay, let's take our stats. When
HH said he used an eye test. Let's use an eye test now. What everybody can see. Shooting ability, he has it. Playmaking, he has it also. People say that he can pass. He can pass also. When he wants to pass, he can pass. He can shoot. He can score goals. He can.
No. Abdullahi, if you take it one by one, Gerrard's gonna win.
Easy. Wait. Let me just hit super chat. Easy. So from King and Bani, because I want everyone to first speak first, then we can then get it into it, because everyone needs to have a chance to say their piece. So from King and Bani, thank you for the super chats. Lamps was more than G's. It's sad kids don't know. Well, okay, just in response to this, 100%. For me, I think that technically Lampard was better than Gerrard, but I think the main thing that Lampard gets credit for are his goals, his outputs, and his assists. But I think people do not really give credits to how good Lampard was as a footballer, even since way back in his West Ham days. And I think as a footballer, I think he was actually better than Gerrard. But we'll get into it. Now, I want to come to Max now. Max, so talk to us about the three players and who do you pick? Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes.
All right, look, first, Scholes, Scholes was good. But we got to see Scholes wasn't a team built by Ferguson. Really, I said Scholes' success and everything. I know he was a good player, but we got to give, let's say, 60% to Alex Ferguson, because he made a lot of good midfielders good. Made a lot of people in that team just, get that world status of, I don't want to call him world class, but, up there. But we're talking about Lampard versus Gerrard, because that's really the main argument in every of this. All right, let's talk about Gerrard. Everyone goes back to 2005. Gerrard did everything. Ooh. Really, Gerrard in that 2005 finals, he was. No one would say he had bones around him. He was playing with Xabi Alonso. He actually had good midfielders around him. He actually had good people. He always had good players.
And that guy from Australia called Q.
And the coach. Okay, wait.
Put respect on Q. Put respect on Q.
Wait, let's put on the coach. What's Benitez? Benitez's tactics was the reason why they won that game. Now, his tactics is just really, defensively, and you just counter attack. And Liverpool was all about heart, really. And that's, the coach and the team gelled together. And the tactics was all about staying defense and counter attack. And they got Milan sleeping. Really, that's 2005. Except from that year, Gerrard consistently was flopping. In big games, you get red cards. In big games, you will not be there. Like, everything about Gerrard is always his hard. What he did for Liverpool. He was there for Liverpool for the whole time.
Okay, talk to me about the 2006 FA Cup final then.
FA Cup final, for real? Is that what we're using to...
No, you said you kept on flopping. You said you kept on flopping.
Wait, Max. Who are you choosing out of these three? Who are you
Lampard,
choosing?
hold on, Lampard definitely. 100%.
So why?
Well, let's not always talk about stats first, but we have to bring the stats in there.
Well, Lampard
consistently scoring 10 goals in a season. I think for 10 years, straight up to 10 years, consistently scoring. And we talk about between him and Drogba. Everyone's always like he made a lot of deflected goals and whatnot. He has the most goals from long range in the Premier League. Look it up. He has the most goals from long range. You say Gerrard has a better long range shot, but Lampard has the most goals from long range.
Okay.
Lampard, more trophies, more of a winner.
Wait, question.
No. But I think Max. Max. I think you need to fix your mic, because I find it hard to hear you. So maybe if you come out and come back in, because your connection is quite dodgy, man. So
I'm back. Is it better?
No. It's because guys in the live chat said they can't really hear you too well. But look, let's just come to I'm Ham here. I'm Ham. Talk to me, man. So it's Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes. Talk about the three players and who do you pick? Don't pick Gerrard. You biased.
I am good.
I love your DP.
No ways. Gerrard has to be number one. The thing is, HH, Gerrard he had a way of playing football where it felt like you were back at school and you were playing in at the schoolyard during break or whatever. And then you just saw this one player who played football, but the way he played football, you just couldn't believe, because the way he played it felt like everything he did just worked for him, and he was just better than everyone. without having to try and anything at all. I think Gerrard, he just had that ability. He had that ability to turn the game whenever he wanted. He had the ability where he was the one where Liverpool, everything about Liverpool was just based on him. And considering how many teams were better than Liverpool at the time, and how in those matches when we played our Premier League rivals, we always had a good performance from Gerrard. We never saw Gerrard ever having like some moments where we felt like he didn't play or he wasn't good enough or anything. Like Gerrard just had that ability. He just kept the ship running.
I'm just a quick question. Who slipped on a banana peel against Chelsea?
Hey, Gerrard, Steven Gerrard.
In
2013 in the FA Cup.
If you're gonna talk about that slip, I will talk about Kante. Let me talk about Kante. Can we talk about Kante?
It's a simple question.
Cost your team.
It's literally one mistake, which should have been rectified by a win at Crystal Palace. Gerrard had nothing to do with that crap.
Thank you, Ayaham. That's the truth.
Like, come on. What? How can you blame one moment for a team that almost won the season? And probably, I think we were the only team to ever score over 95 goals and not win the league. So it wasn't something where we were just like hobbling by, trying to get ourselves to a title, but failing eventually. No, we were pushing. We were essentially breaking whatever hold or the Manchester clubs were trying to have on the Premier League. And we failed. I mean, that's a fact. Like, we failed. Gerrard failed to break the hold the Manchester clubs had over the league. But what he did at that time is what made Liverpool now be able to do that, essentially. So
what?
I don't understand this. What?
What do you mean what he did? What do you mean what he did? What has brought Liverpool success now?
Let me just read some of these super chats. Easy. I'll come on to you guys just real quick. So from Yas's side, who says the question is not a single Liverpool fan can answer is if Gerrard is so good, why didn't he ever win a Premier League title? Scholes came out of retirement to win a Premier League. I'm going to get on that. I'm going to get on that very soon. Let me just read this other super chats before if I forget. From Whimsical Thoughts says that Lamp's ball control and shooting is superior. Footballing IQ, quality and technical ability is Scholes. But I choose Stevie. He's more useful than either of them. I trust him to dig in deep and win games for me. So, first of all, in response to Yasi's thing,
he doesn't know football.
Wait. In response to Yasi's thing, I think that look, it depends what kind of conversation that we're having. That's the thing. It depends what kind of conversation that we're having, because you have to say that if it comes to the league, was it really down to a player or down to the manager and the team? And is that enough to take away from Gerrard because he didn't win a Premier League title? And also, I'm not going to be fake. I will always rate a Champions League over a Premier League. Now, that is something that we can take from Gerrard away, that yes, he never won the Premier League, but which is a greater achievement? Bowling in a Champions League final or leading a team to a Premier League victory? Champions League over Premier League all day, every day. And from Whimsical Thoughts thing is, see, now this is when we now come to the whole thing. What conversation are we having? Are we having a greatness conversation? Are we having an output conversation? Are we having a technical conversation? Are we having a contribution conversation? Because if we're having a conversation based on football technicalities, Scholes wins. If we're having a conversation based on outputs and goals, Lampard wins that conversation. If we're having a conversation based on how much you can impact your team as an individual in several different areas on the pitch, whether it's defensively, in midfield, or in the final third, then Gerrard is the answer. But if we want to just try and hone it and just say, because I don't want to have all these different answers, let's run it down and say that we're having a discussion about the central midfield. So in these Sunday discussions, we're looking at masters of their craft, and the craft is midfield. And if we're not trying to define what is it to be a midfielder, what is the most important criteria to be a midfielder? Is it goal scoring, or is it the ability to control a game, or is it the ability to tackle? What is the most important function of a midfielder? And if you can define that, then you have your answer. So let me come first to Cassius. If we're having a midfield conversation,
HH, can I just finish a little bit? Just one thing I want to say.
Okay, finish.
Yeah. Also, like the thing with with Lampard and his consistency for goals and stuff like that. Like, here's the thing with Gerrard. Gerrard wasn't a cam.
Lampard is top 5. Man. Ben, no. Give me some thoughts. Lampard is top 5 all time.
I agree with what both and Abdullahi are saying, right? That Lampard never played CDM, but he can play CDM. Like he did play.
Exactly my point. Thank you.
Play CDM.
My point.
But here's the thing. Gerrard pretty much played center mid, CDM, right mid, cam, all of those.
I cannot agree with that because it does.
Let's me land.
Every season he was getting 10 goals, 10 assists for Liverpool. For your center mid, that's literally all you can ask for. I haven't seen any midfielder replicate what Gerrard was doing for Liverpool or do better than that. The thing with Lampard is that he was scoring goals, but he was more of a second striker cam, and he wasn't like literally driving the team to get those goals. He was simply a guy who could come in for a late run, or he took a lot of shots. Most of them were deflections that went in.
No. I disagree. I completely disagree.
He took penalties, for Chelsea.
How many penalties did he take though? How many penalties did he take?
But he's not wrong. I don't think he's not that midfielder where you like, yeah, he'll get me a goal in the World Cup final. He's the player where you want him in your team in the World Cup.
Go in the World Cup final.
Sorry?
Bro, that's an agenda right there, bro.
No, I'm just saying.
Go in the World Cup final.
Bro, what are you talking about?
Gerrard would win the World Cup final. Gerrard would win the World Cup final.
No, you
Lampard would.
Why didn't wait.
No.
Guys. Wait. Let's just wait. We need to go. Wait, just chill. So let me. It's from yesterday. So that's Henderson over Gerrard. I don't think so. Henderson is part of a really good team. I don't think so. So I think I'm looking at the live chat, and I think people want us to have an overall discussion. They don't want us just to put this in different parchments. They say take everything into account. Take technicality, take usefulness, take impact, take stats, take everything into account and say who is the best if you add everything up. So let me come to Cassius now. So if you add everything up, technicality, saying, so maybe what we're now saying is a greatness argument, because I think when we're talking about a greatness argument, you're taking every single piece of ingredients and you're not separating anything. So Cassius, I think you said Gerrard, so would you then stick with Gerrard then as he is the greater midfielder out of these three?
Well, it depends if you want to bring in trophies, because obviously he didn't win his
everything. You've got to bring everything into it. Also, see as well. If we're bringing in trophies, guys, I am begging you, please take into account how much did you as an individual contribute to that trophy. Don't give me the Stefan Givash or Abeloa argument. Okay, if you're bringing trophies, what was your contribution to winning that trophy? So, please. All right, Cassius.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, but just the way I'm going to answer the question is who I would choose in my team. If I was choosing one, I would choose Gerrard, and that's not going to change. For me, all of them scored goals. I mean, we said before that Lampard scored goals. I didn't mean to make it seem like... Yes, he scored a lot of goals, but I didn't mean to make it seem like all he did was score goals. Obviously, these guys are legends of their clubs. These guys are great players, international players that all of them have won the Champions League. It's not that Lampard can't control a ball. It's just that I would say that Scholes could do it better and control a game better. But Gerrard also scored goals, just like Scholes did. They all scored. I would probably say, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I would probably say they all scored at least 100 goals for their clubs. Maybe not in the Premier League, but just in all competitions, they at least scored 100 goals. So that when you really look at that, for me, just the way I look at things, Lampard didn't really run with the ball, and while Gerrard, that's kind of something I remember because he would run with the ball, and he could, he would make something happen. Maybe he wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing player, but he would always make something happen in a meaningful way. So, based off of that, Scholes, like I said before, if we're talking about footballing ability, I think we shouldn't be debating this. It's obviously Scholes, but
So okay, so your greatness thing is still Gerrard, is it?
yes.
So my thing though is that should we take points off for him never winning a domestic league? Something that both Scholes and Lampard did. Basically, Scholes has the league. He has the treble. Lampard has the league, the FA Cup, and the Champions League as well. So shouldn't we take something away from Gerrard from never ever from not achieving the Premier League title and also being a critical component in them not winning that Premier League title in 2014?
Well, I mean, like you said before, with the contribution to their trophies, if I'm not wrong, in the year that Liverpool won the Champions League, Gerrard was in the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or, and I don't think Scholes ever got in that.
And guess who got second?
Say again?
Guess who got second?
Yeah, it was Lampard. I know that. I know the top 3 was Lampard as well. But look, we're not talking about 1 year. I'm talking about over the length of their careers. For me, I'm still taking Gerrard, even though he didn't win a Premier League. I mean, you have to take everything into account. Man United, throughout their the time, let's say like 95 to 2015 or so, Man United were, as a team, they were clearly better. So you can't use that to boost Scholes, because obviously he played a part in all of the trophies, but you can't give him 100% credit for everything Man United won. And Gerrard, I think you can certainly give him more credit for what Liverpool won in that time. So, like I said, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If we're talking about trophies and overall greatness, I think you would probably say Scholes. But the way I'm going to answer the question is, if I'm choosing a team, I'm choosing Gerrard.
Let me just hit this real quick. From your boy Yes Aside, it says that, I apologize. Henderson and Gerrard cannot be compared to one. One actually led a Liverpool team to a Premier League title. What was I thinking? Shake my head. Yes Aside, I am begging you. You are really not putting freaking Henderson above Gerrard because of a Premier League title. Yes, Saeed, have you no shame? Are you really? Because Saeed, are you telling me that you're valuing a Premier League over a Champions League? Yes, that is a blemish of Gerrard's career, a massive blemish. The CL makes up for it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am a CL merchant. I always will, always have been, always will be a CL merchant. Hassan, why? Give me a strong, compelling argument as to why Gerrard, with no Premier League, is the greatest midfielder out of these 3, because whereas the other 2 have a complete set of trophies, whereas he doesn't.
Well, as you said, it's a contribution to the trophies they won. I'm not taking this away from Lampard and Scholes, but just look at the team they had. They had what? Lampard had Drogba, Makelele, Essien, had a peak Mourinho. Scholes had Fergie. So people call him the GOAT. Fergie, Cristiano, Tevez. Well, the trophies we won. Okay, Gerrard, the thing, he didn't win the league. He won every other trophy he could for Liverpool. And the thing about Gerrard and Lampard and Scholes, they all scored goals. But you think about Lampard, he scored all those goals, but how many of them do you remember? How many were big game moments?
I can remember
Gerrard
the
scored
CL final.
Can
CL
I
final.
name it? FA Cup final.
Okay.
Semis.
You can do on your time,
Fire.
203.
Wait.
Dude, the first Premier
Abdullah,
League,
Phil,
the first Premier League, who scored?
Wait. Let Hassan land. Hassan, land your point. Finish your point.
I mean, Gerrard scored what? CL final, FA Cup final. Pretty sure scored in the Carabao Cup final against Olympiacos. I mean, he came big for us, man. I know we didn't win the league, and people, if you need to forget, the teams that during the 2000s were just better than us. I mean, the 05 final was luck, but we won it. Gerrard came clutch, Alonso came clutch. He was just a better footballer as well for me. Overall, he's just better. But Lampard and Scholes, they had better teams and quality managers. The thing, and Gerrard, every time Lampard, Gerrard had always had one manager, and Gerrard always had different managers. That's the degree of difficulty for me as well. You all had different players to play with and different managers, while they had consistent period of
No. Lampard has different managers too.
Lampard had 10 managers. Lampard had
Abra Grant, Andres Blas-Boas, Roberto Di Matteo. So I can keep naming them.
Gerrard late on his career.
No.
Anyway.
Bram,
Gerrard
just means Bram,
bro.
Okay, wait. So I'm coming. Let me, wait, before I come to Samuel, we're easy. Community side says, thank you for switch out. Says HH, if you're a CL merchant, are you a treble merchant? Scholes was part of the only English team to win a treble. So what are we talking about, bro?
He was on the bench.
Did Scholes play in the semi for the Champions League? Did Scholes play in the final of that Champions League? Because I believe he was suspended with Keane. So I don't think he played in the most important game. So then you say to yourself, how important and how crucial was Scholes to that Champions League run? Got to keep it a stack. Samuel, please give me a compelling reason as to why Stevie G, or Sleepy G as some people would say, is the greatest out of these three. No, that was a slip of the tongue.
Have hopes. Have hope.
Do you know what? Yeah.
So,
Go for it.
That's what I was to say. Yeah. So let's looking at Scholes now. When you look at Scholes in like a Xavi position, I'll call it a Xavi position, or no, not a Xavi position. Sorry, Pirlo position. He was the best. He can dictate games. He could what's it called? He was a brilliant passer of the ball. He had the shot. But when you put him out of that position and put him anywhere else in the midfield, he was mediocre. Same for Lampard. In that kind of behind striker kind of role, Lampard was brilliant, world class at a point. But when you put him at any other position, he wasn't as good. Now, when you look at Gerrard,
oh my God.
No, wait. Oh my gosh, you don't want to let me land. Are you gonna let me land?
Run.
Thank you. Can you also mute your mic as well? Anyways, as I was saying, for me, Gerrard, it's like a simple analogy. You know, you had that person in that class who was topping like English and maths, but other subjects he wasn't that good. Then you had another person that was top of science and let's say religious studies, and they were rubbish at the other things. But then you had the guy that was second in every subject. Now he wasn't top at everything, but because he was such an all-rounder, that's why he was the best student. And that's why Gerrard, for me, was the best. Now, Chelsea fans, I don't really see Man United fans making the argument, but Chelsea fans, the reason why a lot of you lot that back Lampard annoy me is because if I put the same argument with the stats with Salah and Hazard, you will say Hazard is the better player. However, Salah's got the better output. Am I correct?
No. But can I respond to that, Samuel? The fact of the matter is that Hazard is so technically, aesthetically on a different planet to Salah and Mane combined that we shouldn't even bring in stats. The issue here, Samuel, is that Lampard's stats are so out of this world. Also, the first one out of this world, and also, are you really going to say that the technical ability of Scholes and Gerrard are on a different level to Lampard? No, we're not saying that. But Hazard's technical ability is on a whole different level to Mane and Salah combined.
When you look at Salah, and I'm not trying to bring it to Salah or Hazard, but I'm just making up. When you bring in Salah's and Hazard's stats, Salah absolutely trounces Hazard. That's why you know on the football terrorist, Terry says that he's better because of the output. Well, I don't agree with it because I still think that Hazard is the better player, but it shows that it's more than the stats. Now, when you actually look at the play, he was better at free kicks. He was better at pens. He was better at corners. He was better defensively. Or as I said, Gerrard was playing right back at one time when we needed him to. That 05 Champions League run that he had was probably one of the greatest of all time. Man. Oh my days, God, let me land. That 05 Champions League run was probably nearly one of the greatest of all time because of the degree of difficulty, the team that he had, Yes, come on. Like, if you look at that AC Milan team, come on.
Nah. I'm not rating those guys, man.
But if you look at the moments that he had, especially against Olympiacos, against AC Milan, and you see the teams that he had, and then people bring in the point, oh, Gerrard had Xavi Alonso, Gerrard had Mascherano. How long did they stay with him? Lampard nearly had Drogba and quality players around him for nearly his whole career. Not trying to put that as a slight on Lampard. However, Gerrard didn't have that luxury. He was playing with a lot of bums most of the time. The quality players that came into Liverpool also left very quickly. So for Gerrard to stay in a team, which is he wanted to be loyal to Liverpool, and then do what he was doing for Liverpool. Remember, he won every trophy except the Premier League. Okay, I mean that's a slight on his career, but he won every trophy except the Premier League. He went to 2 Champions League finals. Remember that, and he won one with a rubbish Liverpool team. So that's why I believe that Gerrard is better.
Okay. Wait. I mean, let me just take the super chats real quick, and then I'm going to respond to you, Samuel. From Baragav Condetti, thank you for the super chat. Says out, what do you make of the rise of the 3-4-3 systems? Things chop and change. 3-4-3 has been around for ages, man. So this 3-4-3 isn't a new thing. What has been new is 4-2-3-1. 3-4-3 has been around since the freaking 90s and 80s, like, because people used to either switch between 4-3-3 or 3-4-3. I think the reason why it's becoming more in vogue is because of how people want to use the wide men as wing backs and how people are now using inside fours, which is the front three right now. But 4-3-3, 4-3-1, 3-4-3 is now becoming more in vogue, and 3-5-2, apart from Southgate, 4-4-2 is now sort of going in the back burner. Samuel, you see, you say degree of difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the Champions League final, are you really telling me that Liverpool's Champions League run was that difficult? Apart from the Champions League final,
I'm looking at the team that they had. What the games that we shouldn't have won, or we shouldn't have beaten like Olympiacos like that.
Wait, Samuel, your mic is sounding a bit robotic. Try and come out and come back in.
Okay,
it's sounding
cool.
a bit. Right, you come out and come back in. I'll save you a spot. Okay, let me come to well, since he's just coming, Yasser Said, talk to me, man. Talk to me, Yasser Said, man. Talk to me.
So, I mean, this debate is one of those debates that, like, you're never gonna get an honest answer from a lot of people because Scholes is a United legend, Gerrard is a Liverpool legend, and Lampard is a Chelsea legend, and they will literally fight. To make sure that people believe that their legend is better than the other. But I mean, we just gotta you just gotta be honest, and I feel like Scholes is, in my opinion, better than Gerrard and Lampard. Because you just gotta look at it. You just gotta look at the careers. You just gotta look at the impact in the game. To be honest, and this is me just being 100% honest. Growing up watching football. People say that as a kid you're tainted for biases, blah blah blah, because you're very innocent. My honest opinion of Gerrard was that he was a very, very good player, one of the best players in the world, but he was afraid to leave Liverpool. What? He was afraid to leave Liverpool to win titles. He was comfortable at being, quote unquote, the best player at Liverpool. And even though, but
apparently his life was threatened. They said they would kill him if he left Liverpool. That's what I heard. So,
but the thing is, Gerrard should have left Liverpool. He should have. That's an honest opinion. He should have left Liverpool.
Oh no!
He should have went to Chelsea because he wanted to go to Chelsea.
Yes, my answer is look at Totti. Totti was, this is my home. I'm from Rome. This is where I'm about. I am going to stay here and win a title with Roma. And he did. And Roma will forever feel indebted to their son, one of their very own, staying at the club, not going to Juve or Milan and winning a league title with them. So for Gerrard, in his mind, it's not about being comfortable. No, nothing will mean more winning a Premier League title for my hometown team than winning it with any other team. That would mean more.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. You can make the same argument of Henry that he would have loved to won Champions League with Arsenal, but Henry believed that he couldn't. Since he went, then he made the move to Barcelona, and he eventually won it.
Saeed, who is the greatest out of all three? Tell me who's the greatest out of all three.
It's Scholes.
Based on what? Why?
But it's Scholes. In Bracer, he's basically technically the best player. He has won the most
What
titles.
did he do in the Champions League run? What was his contribution in the Champions League run? What did he do in the final?
To be honest, he didn't play the final. He was suspended. Scholes
There
was
we
suspended.
go. There we
but,
go.
But
So
AJ, let me ask you a question.
No. So he played no part in a final. Lampard scored in a CL final, and Gerrard scored and created a penalty in a CL. So what are we talking? So how is Scholes in the greatness conversation if he did nothing for a CL?
See, this is what you guys don't really make sense about. You guys say that Manchester United, they were very dominant. Alex Ferguson, one of the greatest managers of the world. But then you guys don't even think about who was Manchester United's best midfielder. Like, let's be honest. Like, look in terms of
Scholes
midfield.
was benefiting off Fergie and a top team. He was playing for the best manager that there ever was. So
listen. You can say all that.
Scholes won a CL with Di Matteo. Scholes won a CL with Di Matteo.
No, Lampard. Sorry, Lampard.
Sorry, Lampard won a CL with Di Matteo.
I mean,
Lampard won a CL with Di Matteo. Now what?
You can say all that. You can say all that all you want. All you want. The best midfielder by far for Manchester United's history is Scholes. Man, it didn't matter who Scholes played in midfield with. He's still balled.
Yes, nobody cares about
that's the point.
in United. No,
that's the point.
Yes, nobody cares about in Man United history. We're talking about who is the greatest midfielder out of this.
He's the greatest. It's obvious.
Based on what? Based on
trophy examples. And based on impact in the game, in the actual game. They literally, you just have to think about the only midfield that Manchester United had in 2012 was Scholes. They had Scholes and Michael Carrick.
So Scholes was more impactful than Cristiano, than Van Nistelrooy, than Rooney, than Rio, than Vidic.
Yes. Because of longevity.
So you're telling me that Scholes had a weaker team than Gerrard or Lampard. He had a weaker team and a worse manager.
Never.
Side, your arguments are weak.
No.
They're weak.
He never. I'm not saying
Side,
that.
he had the best manager of all time and had a top team. You have lost this argument.
Wait. Like, Manchester United didn't always have the top team. The Manchester United,
but always had the top manager. Scholes always had the top manager.
But then,
yes or no? Yes or no? Did Scholes always had Fergie? Now what?
But okay, Scholes always had Fergie. But then is that Scholes' problem though? Is that Scholes' problem?
I'm saying degree of difficulty. Gerrard was able to win a CL with Rafa Benitez. Lampard was able to win a CL with Di Matteo.
Good point.
Scholes always leant upon the greatest manager of all time. So how difficult was his job?
But then Lampard also had Harry Redknapp. He also had Mourinho. He also had Ancelotti. But anyways, all right,
but he also had Di Matteo. Finish the story. Finish the story. He also had Di Matteo.
Okay. Anyways, but then the point is, as a footballer, you always have to put yourself in the best situation. So that can never be an excuse against Scholes that he was playing with the best club and the greatest manager.
No. But yes, the whole point is, if we're talking about greatness, is how well can you do? Degree of difficulty. How much work do you have to do? What do you have to work with? What players
this is
are
tough football.
around you?
No, this is tough football. You are free. You are free to do whatever you want. You are free to put yourself in the best situation.
Team, would he have done what Gerrard done?
And if my mom had a beard, she would be my dad.
See, look at this guy. Wait. So from King and Bunny says that talk with no EPL, crown, Sleepy G, hashtag winners only.
That's what they got against him, man.
But let's be honest though, Liverpool fans. Let's be honest. Other than that,
I haven't given my thoughts.
Other than that Champions League, out of and maybe not like an FA Cup. What has Gerrard? What was his impact in the game? Let's be honest, bro. Like, what did Gerrard do, bro?
Kevin De Bruyne.
A constant EPL flop, bro.
Yes, you didn't know watch football. You started watching football in 2015.
Oh, I didn't watch football. I didn't watch Liverpool.
You started watching football.
Wait. I wanna come to Ben. Easy. I wanna come to Ben. So before I come to Ben, from Natsa. By the way, Natsa. Let me just deal with you. By the way, Yaya Toure is clear of all these bombs. Now, Natsa, I will give you 2 seasons. Natsa, you cannot tell me that because Yaya Toure was exceptional, and he was in 2 seasons, he sniffs a greatness argument. A greatness argument involves trophies, longevity, impact, consistency, and a large sample size. And Natsa, did Yaya Toure ever win a seal with Man City? Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Natsa, have City ever been in a seal final? Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Natsa, when last with Man City in a seal semi? Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Natsa, tell Pep to sort it out. We're still waiting for that seal. Natsa, don't test me, bro, because I can really expose you. Please think before you send the messages, because I can really get really mean, very mean. Ben, talk to me, man. Greatness. Who's popping off, man?
Okay. You said we're gonna put everything together, the goals and every single thing, and like that. And I think it was Samuel who was saying all round and saying Lampard behind the striker role is very good, or like all round. I don't think all round. Like, I don't think when you put in everything together, his impact in that one position, let's assume he played one position, it so outweighs, like it's so much that you have to disregard whether he couldn't play. And actually he could play some other positions.
Benjamin, just realize you're only saying this because you only just saw Lampard stats. Can
you chill?
You just saw it.
Chill. You're a Liverpool fan. I'm not. I'm neither a Chelsea fan, Man U fan, or Liverpool fan. So I'm speaking from objectivity. And I've seen both of them play normally, but I'm saying, like,
Ben, don't be a stats matcher. Don't be a stats matcher, man.
No. See, at some point you have to be a stats matcher. Football is not just about eye test. There's eye test, there's stats as well. It's just like, well, let me make my point. My point first.
Okay.
I believe, in my opinion, peak Ozil is better than Fabregas. But peak Ozil reminds me of just number 10, just a number 10 position. He can play maybe the central midfield like Fabregas can do. But I think in that number 10 position, at his best, it was ridiculous. So I won't now say because he couldn't play some other positions, therefore Fabregas is better than him. I won't say that. Secondly, the crux of my argument is this: Messi and Ronaldo. The truth of the matter is that if Messi wasn't putting up the kind of stats he's putting up, no one will be making the argument that he's better than Ronaldo. Because let me land. Wait, can you let me land? I am a Barcelona fan. I'm a Messi fan, so don't get me wrong. Messi technically is better than Ronaldo in every way. Technically, creating, dribbling, everything is better. But I'm saying if he wasn't putting up the stats he's putting, because Ronaldo's stats are so ridiculous, it would outweigh his dribbling. Are there no dribblers in the game? Doesn't Hazard dribble? Doesn't Hazard create? There are dribblers, there are creators, there are all of those things. But if you do all of those things and your stats, if his stats was not measuring up with Ronaldo's stats toe to toe, we won't put him in the conversation because Ronaldo's stats will be too ridiculous. It will be you can't compare Ronaldo and Hazard. You can't compare Ronaldo and anybody who can just dribble and create and who can do something like that, who is consistent. You can't compare them. But because Messi's stats also are very, very, very high. See, if Gerrard's stats were as high, at least, or just measure up a little to Lampard's stats, then we won't put in any argument again. Normally, technically, let me not say technically, all round, yes, he's better. Just like I was saying, Messi all round is better than Ronaldo.
EPL loser, by the way.
But no. Don't change. Let me make my point. Don't change. Don't change.
So which
Ben is
are
right.
you still sticking with Lampard as your greats then?
Yeah, I'm sticking
Who is
with
your greatest
like
player?
Lampard. I'm sticking with Lampard over Gerrard
Based
here
on
because
so based on stats.
first of all, I watched Lampard. Let's not do as though I was born yesterday. I watched Lampard, but I'm saying seeing the stats again.
Just saw his stats today.
No. I knew stats. I knew he was Chelsea's top scorer, but I didn't know he was also in the top 5 of Premier League and top 5 in Premier League assists. So that was ridiculous as well. So like, see, Lampard I'm saying that thing, just that alone, I'm saying it outweighs whatever you want to say. That's just it. It outweighs whatever you want to say. You can't bring all round. Come on. If you want to bring all round.
But Ben, in a greatness argument, you have to.
In a greatness argument,
you have to give me the whole pie. Because.
No, you're saying greatness. Your all-round player and greatness argument are two different things. If his greatness argument was talking about trophies, then Lampard will blow him out of the water.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
He said impact on trophies.
So Benjamin, ask me this: why did it not work at England? Why were people saying they should have put Carrick and Gerrard or Scholes and Gerrard? Why did it not work at England if he was that great?
I thought just a few minutes ago. Wait. I thought just a few minutes ago we were talking about how England are so political and different things. Can we not just go there? Because
England
I've heard top. What are you saying? I've heard footballers allege that there were political things in there. So what are you saying? Do you know better than some of those footballers? I'm saying, let's remove England national team. Who cares about that? We're talking about what they did. The two of them. I'm saying what this guy did, what Lampard did in that one position. Let's assume he played just one position. It is too much to now kick it out. It's too much to say Gerrard because he could play or because he could defend. Because when Gerrard didn't win the Premier League,
so you're just gonna discredit that. You're just gonna discredit that.
No. Okay, but Ben, let me. So Ben, if you're a manager, who would you want in your team? Who do you think would bring most to your team?
Scholesy.
I'll take the guy. No. Can we move Scholes, please? Can we be serious? Yeah.
Disrespect Scholes like this.
I'm not disrespecting.
You were backing him.
Wait. No. I'm not disrespecting. I am not disrespecting Scholes. If you heard what I said the first time, I said Scholes was technically the best of three of them. But I'm talking about Gerrard and Lampard because of their impact, because of how great they were.
What impact did Gerrard do? What did he do? He did nothing in the EPL.
No, let me land, bro. Let me land. I have said it. I put it out there. Technically, he's better than the two of them. That's it. But I'm talking about Lampard and Gerrard because, in my opinion, both of them are just slightly above him. Lampard and Gerrard. Who am I taking between two of them? That was your question. I'm taking the guy who's gonna. How can I? That is a luxury. If you have a midfielder who can give you that kind of amount of goals, yeah, come on. And even if you have a striker, that's a luxury. Plus the assists it gives, plus the amount of assists it gives as well. Come on.
So let's just run this off because we need to run this off because I need to go like in the next few minutes. So let me just read this. So from Natsa, thank you for the super chats, big man. It says that Yaya has an AFCON and captained them to it. What has those English bums done for England? They never performed in one game in a major tournament. I mean, look, as I said again, you see. Now, Yaya isn't in this argument, but if you threw Yaya into this argument, to be real with you, neither Gerrard, Lampard, or Scholes have had a season as good as Yaya best season. Never. Where Yaya was arguably the best player that season as a midfielder.
What year? 2012 is it? Or is it 20?
There were 2 seasons where he scored, I think, like 20 goals. As a midfielder,
it was one season.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So basically, I've never seen a midfielder have an impact like that on their team the way that I had for those 2 seasons. So
2009 Gerrard was better than Yaya Toure.
No.
2009,
2009.
I have
2009 Gerrard.
Wait. Sorry, let me just read this up. So from King Gambani he says Lampard, Scholes, Ballack, Fabregas, Essien over Gerrard. Oh my God! Wait, did this guy say
You see this guy? He's a troll. He's a troll. He's
Samuel. Face the fact. Face the fact, guys. Yes.
No, wait, hold it. Yes, I'm not taking your opinion because you said Henderson was better than Gerrard. That's what I'm just gonna say.
He is. Champions League, Premier League. Yes.
Henderson is better than Pogba. Henderson is better than Pogba. Henderson is better than Pogba. Henderson is better than Pogba.
Hang on. Henderson is better. No, guys. Let's just run this off. So guys, let's just run this off. So final thing before we get out of here. So everyone, just tell me who your pick. and please don't disrupt anybody. And so just think about, just put it in a nice, little, concise argument as to, I think this player is the greatest because, and give your criteria. So I want you to tell me like who you're picking as the greatest and tell me your reason. Bring it in their footballing ability, the trophies they've won, their impact on them winning those trophies, and their contribution to the team. And then that would not be a case of why you believe that they're the greatest. So just give me that of why you feel that they are better as a footballer or as a midfielder than the other two, the trophies they've won, and their contributions, their specific individual contributions to those trophies, all those trophies that they won. Cassius.
So for me, the greatest is Steven Gerrard because of his impact for his team. It was, in my opinion, it was larger than that of Scholes and Lampard. I actually looked at the number of trophies that Lampard and Gerrard won, and Gerrard only won. He didn't win any Premier Leagues, yes, but they won the same number of Champions Leagues, and he only won like 2 titles less in total in all competitions. So there's not even a large difference in the number of titles between Lampard and Gerrard. Obviously, Scholes won many more trophies than both of them, but
many.
Yes, but let me finish. I don't think Scholes had as large an impact on Man United's titles than in comparison to Gerrard. So, and when we talk about their skill set specifically, Gerrard, in terms of goals, all of them were quite similar. Like we've been saying that obviously Lampard as the headline, he is in the top 5 goals in the Premier League ever, but I looked at the statistics and it's not really a big difference. I mean, Lampard scored, a goal every 3 games. Gerrard scored a goal every 4 games. Scholes scored a goal every 5 games. They all scored over 100 goals for their clubs. So really, in terms of statistics and specifically goals, there isn't that large a difference. So for me, taking everything into consideration, I'm taking Gerrard.
Hassan.
Yeah, man. I'll still stick with Stevie. I mean, the trophy to won, he contributed to them in the finals, Champions League final, FA Cup final, I think League Cup final as well. And big game player. I mean, overall, he's just better for me. I mean, Scholes is better technically. Lampard is a better goal scorer, but Gerrard could pass and Gerrard could score. Big game player. So overall, and for Scholes had a great team, and I don't think he contributed more than Cristiano or Tevez or even Roy Keane, to be honest. Lampard had he scored a lot of goals, but I don't know how many of them are clutch. Apart from when they won the league, I think the last day of the league.
Don't say that. I can tell you clutch goals.
Abdullahi, man, relax, man, relax.
But overall, for me, Gerrard, he contributed more to our trophies that we won, and he's a big game player. And he's a better player overall. So for me, Gerrard's just better.
All right, Ben.
Okay, for me, Lampard. I'll give it to Lampard because I think in the eyes of any neutral, neutrals, and not just fanboys, you can't just give it to Gerrard. I think you would give it to Lampard. But what are my reasons? Just a few days ago, Hurricane scored 150 goals, and we're looking at the other 9 players who had scored 150 goals, and only one name was a midfielder, Lampard. That's ridiculous. So he has done too much for his role to be disrespected like that, and to just call it stat padding like we like to do. So I think that, and also he had a very, very huge impact in the trophies. It was a very big part of Chelsea, of Abramovich era, and they won the Premier League back to back, and they won several FA Cups, several league titles. I think he even came to Manchester City, and if I'm not wrong, he also won there. I'm not so sure about that. So I think Lampard is overall will have to go down as the best, as the best of the 3 of them. Just looking at what we grade the best in the Premier League, that's when you look at the list with Alan Shearer, with Thierry Henry, and for Lampard, a midfielder, to be in their conversation, I think it's too much. It's too much to overlook.
Okay. From King Gambani says that Lampard led the league in assists 3 times. look, man, I said again, Lampard's goal scoring, and people forget that Lampard's assist as well is big to him. And I think the main thing, I think, see, if Lampard only said what's up goal scoring, I'm like, goal scoring merchant. But the fact that he also did it in assist, because I think the primary function of a midfielder is to assist. So if he's saying what's up assisting and goal scoring, you have to give him a certain dub. Samuel.
Yeah, of course I'm going to have to give it to Gerrard. This is throughout this debate, I respect Scholes and Lampard a lot for what they did for their clubs. But for me, it's just not what Gerrard, the impact that Gerrard made for the club, especially with the things that he had at hand. He dealt with the things that he had at hand, and he did the best that he could do with Liverpool at the time. So, and for me, it's just like he was just versatile in nearly all the positions in the midfield. And the last thing I want to put off is that if Harry Kane passes Thierry Henry for goals, is Harry Kane better than Thierry Henry? Just want to think about that. Just think about that.
But I would say that even now Harry Kane is a better finisher than Henry.
No, as a better player. Better player.
No, for Cosmos, no.
Okay, so just put that as a thought.
Okay.
But he doesn't outshine Henry so far.
Easy, man. Let me come to this
like
guy.
Like Lampard does to Gerrard.
Very easy. Let me come to this boy. Yes, talk, man. Talk.
I mean, I'm gonna give my respects to Lampard. Phenomenal player.
You have to just tell me who you're picking and why. Tell me which player you're picking is the greatest.
My pick is Paul Scholes. People forget that Scholes, yes, I mean his impact was not great in 1999. But it was a youth. He was a youth. But anyways, people just don't understand that he was part of empire, a dynasty that was Manchester United, and with all the players that came in and all the system that Fergie changed it up, the consistent was Scholes. The way he adapted to different personnel and the different teams and everything was phenomenal. And I mean, like anyone look at the titles that he has won and the impact he has won. At the end of the day, you're in this competition to win. I mean, I've never seen someone that is in a competition to lose. Nobody wants to lose. Everybody wants to win, and you go in there to win as much as you possibly can. And let's be honest, Gerrard and Lampard has not won as much as Scholes did, and that's a fact. So, yep, he's the greatest.
Okay. I'm Ham. Keep it nice and brief. Why do you think Slippy G is the greatest?
Well, I mean, like, you just have to look at the people Gerrard took to Europe with him. He took Jimmy Traore to a European final. He took Peter Crouch to a European final. Like, the things this guy was doing was immense. And I don't know if anyone knows, but like before Real Madrid bought Cristiano, they were thinking about getting both Torres and Gerrard to become the main players for the next 5 years. They were planning on 150 million bid for both of them, but luckily
fake news.
Because I think the owners of Liverpool would have ran with that money. But anyway, Gerrard compared to these two guys had so much difficulty to actually get anything, and the fact that he's won 2 European trophies, this shows that without Gerrard, Liverpool's literally Newcastle right now. That's the difference between Gerrard and without Gerrard, Liverpool is Newcastle. Without Scholes, without Lampard, United and Chelsea are pretty much still the same. Let's be honest.
Wait. Can I just say one thing about that?
Wait. Let me just land because we have to
let him
round it off.
No, let him say what he wants to say. Oh, okay. Shout out to Yasser Saeed, who's freaking hell, I forgot this player's name now. According to you, Pogba is not better than who's that Brazilian player you guys had?
Fred.
Anderson.
Pogba, according to you. So yeah, man. Shout out Yasser Saeed. Anderson is the best player at Man United ever.
All right. So what's it called? Let's come to your boy Max.
What?
All right. So
confused.
all right. First, I think it's Lampard that's definitely the greatest. But why I say so, first I'm gonna come to Jared. And like we will say that Lampard only played attacking mid in 2010. Really, most times he played as a CM, number 8. Left center mid. I mean, and he was doing a good job. And people do say he was doing the same level as Gerrard and Scholes in that position. But when
Anderson.
he went to attacking mid in 2010 with Ancelotti, he even did way better and went crazy in that position. All right, but that's that. And Gerrard being a big game player is overrated and is really a lie because his attitude, he's so irrational. He just wants to go for tackles. I mean, how many red cards did he get the red card after subbing in a Manchester United game? After 35 seconds or something, he got a red card there. How many times he had back one time? I think for CL qualification spot. He passed Drogba back pass. Drogba scored. Remember the slip? We can't forget the slip in the Euros 2004. He passed back. And I can't remember, was it Henry that scored?
Yeah, to Henry.
Actually, I'll tag you in the link. So this Gerrard being a big game player, Gerrard was nothing but a real English player. Look, as you were saying, English players, they from youth, they get thought, okay, you have to run, you got to hustle. All he had was really a good right foot. I won't even lie, he had a good shot, but he was just a runner. He ran a lot. And he put a lot of emotion and a lot of heart. And that's about it. But when you talk about Lampard in the sense, in the last game against Bolton, scored those 2 goals, crucial goals. He scored a goal in 2008 finals. The 2010 top, I think, in assists in 2010. Every trophy they won in FA Cup finals, he scored that free kick. I mean, again, who did they play in that FA Cup final? He scored
Against
that long range goal too.
Against Tottenham and against Liverpool. Against Tottenham and Liverpool.
Exactly. In 2009,
so just put it just very simply, just round it off. Why specifically are you putting Lampard? Just very briefly, just your key points.
Why would you want impact? Why would you want a guy? Oh, look, Gerrard would be good if your team has bad players around you, but you can't fault Lampard and Scholes for having good players around them. That's because having
exactly.
So
thank you.
This guy's argument is as bad as his mic.
Wait. Okay. We have to move. Like, no. That guy's mic is class A, man. That guy's mic is class A. It's class A, man. Abdullah, man. Why are you going for Lampard, man?
Actually, like I said before, of course I would choose Lampard. People say it's a goal scoring match. No. It's not a goal scoring match because if you remember, he played on that pick of Osemori. He didn't play on that Osemori. People bring an argument of saying Gerrard played under Rafa Benitez. Yeah, I agree with that. He played under Rafa Benitez. But Lampard played under Ose, Andres Villas-Boas, Roberto Di Matteo, Avra Grant, Gus Indig. So you cannot tell me, even when Ose came back the second time again, he played under him. So you can't tell me he played under that. So he didn't also play. Before he started playing as a number 10, he was under Carlo Ancelotti when we won the EPL and the FA Cup. He has been playing as a number 8 in between. When you have Obimike as a DM, Lampard played beside him also too. So you can't tell me he started playing. No. For me, I would choose Lampard because if you look at his goal scoring, it's in terms of player, goal scoring, shooting, assisting also. So you have to put that Lampard into the conversation also too. People may say Scholes and Steven Gerrard has won so many trophies, but if you look at when the new Wembley started opening, if you look at the most assists to a player is Lampard to Didier Drogba. Lampard to Didier Drogba. Lampard to Didier Drogba. For me, Drogba has the most goals ever since the new Wembley has been opened in the FA Cup. No one can argue that with me. Because Lampard has more goals ever since the new Wembley has opened. Who assists more is Lampard. So you cannot come. Lampard also scored in the semi-final against FA Cup, against Tottenham Hotspur, and against the same Liverpool. Even people rate against Steven Gerrard and everything. He scored also. So he scored in the semis and also in the final too. He also scored in the FA Cup and in the Carabao Cup, in which the EFL Cup too.
So round off, man. Give me your key points, my friend. Round off. Why is Lampard the guy, man?
Player, in terms of ability, scoring, shooting, and everything, I'll go for Frank Lampard for me. He has been disrespected a lot. Frank Lampard.
Okay. So just to round this off, man. As I said again, it all depends on what you're having. As again, I want to just put this very clear. Technically speaking, in terms of the discipline the discipline of a central midfielder to control the game, hold possession of the ball, and dictate the trajectory of how the game is. Nobody does it better than Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes was technically the superior player to all three players. If you're talking about who would be most useful for you in terms of playing multiple positions and who can give you the most in a game, is definitely Gerrard. If we're now saying in terms of output, goal scoring, and in terms of effectiveness in the final third effectiveness, you're rolling with Lampard. But if you want to take everything into account, trophies, impact, playing style, and so forth, as in a greatness argument, you might have to lean towards Gerrard. Because when I think of Man United, I think of the team. I don't think of Scholes standing out. When I think of Chelsea, I don't think mainly of Lampard. I think of the entire team. Lampard and Scholes were parts of quality teams. They were amazing players in their own right, but they were parts of quality teams. When you think of Liverpool, and in their finest hour, which was the Champions League run, Gerrard is the first name that comes to mind. So for me, in terms of who had the greater impact as an individual on their team based on what they had, you have to say that it was Gerrard. But keeping it real, Gerrard is not as good a football player as Lampard. And Gerrard did not have the same kind of output as Lampard had. Nor is he as good as a football player as Lampard or Scholes. Lampard and Scholes are the superior players. But taking everything into account, you may have to roll with Gerrard. But at the end of the day, Gerrard, where is your Premier League title? Guys, thank you for joining in. We'll be back in here next Sunday for another beautiful thing.
They
Guys,
all
peace
got
out.
CL, by the way.
Guys, peace out. Stay true.
Lampard is trash.
Scott's overrated trash, man.
Hey,
Overrated.
chill on
2012.
Lampard, bro.
Gerrard is overrated. Gerrard is overrated.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you.
Yeah, so your points were absolutely rubbish. I'm sorry.